Welcome back to Straight Facts. It's Friday. I'm joined by Staffy and Don. How are you, boys?
Good. Everything is good here. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yeah, happy Friday. I'm good, man. Just waiting for, to watch more beautiful football a little bit later on. You know what I'm saying? Certain clubs can't relate on that. But we're good. We've got a lot to talk about.
Y'all play today?
Yeah,
today. Yeah.
Oh, against Leverkusen. Oh, yeah.
Ten Hag.
Ten Hag hate along. Yeah, I'll be there. Today I feel Chelsea.
Anywhere where Ten Hag is, you'll find Staffy, bro. You'll find Staffy.
Today I feel Chelsea. Proper Chelsea today. I'm going on loan to Chelsea today.
Absolutely. Look, we've got loads to go through today. Arsenal sign and secure a big deal. We're looking at Liverpool as they move closer to their Isak deal after... Listen, Newcastle, I will say this, the news again with a big journalist confirming that Man Utd is the guy. I can't believe we're living in a world where indie's being taken seriously as a source. It's fucking amazing. We're looking at Garnacho to Chelsea, which is imminent. Garnacho to Chelsea is an imminent deal, according to sources. And the big question, will Eze to Arsenal advance? We're going to be going through that on the show today, plus taking a little actually we're going to start with Manchester United. Staffy, what a week, what a topsy-turvy, crazy, up and down, full of signings, major links, and a brand new, for the first time in 25 years, fully refurbished pucker looking Carrington.
Yeah, listen, the best bit was when I saw the jacuzzi. And I was like, Ronaldo, talk now. That new jacuzzi. Talk now, Ronaldo. I can't wait, by the way, for Ronaldo sexuals to give him all the credit for getting a new jacuzzi. But yeah, we've had a great week, man. I've noticed my morale has been up all week. And I was like, I wonder what happened to me this week. Why am I so happy in my personal life? And I noticed my football club made me happy. So then I noticed, as a football fan, my morale is really affected by how good or bad my team is. So, I'm probably never beating the grumpy allegations if we lose games again, because you ain't gonna notice the shift in mood. But we've had a great week, I can't lie. From the signings, from even the suspected outgoings. Your boy Rasmus, I know it's a sad day for you, but your boy Rasmus might be going on to Serie A.
Yep.
Your boy Garnacho is going to Don, so he shouldn't be laughing.
Yep.
Sesko's here. Baleba links.
Yep.
Right,
I know exactly. And you're talking about a loan, which a loan with an obligation is the best deal for Man United on Rasmus, because it means we don't lose any money on him in terms of the physical year. There's talk of a £43 million buy clause in this deal. And again, if we do that, I'm like, listen, he's been a flop for us, right? But £43 million back, taking it, bruv.
His book value right now is 43, which is why I think we're trying to do that.
Yeah, so we do it. Yeah, we do.
If we do loan him out, I mean, let's say for full salary. I don't remember what his salary is, but if you loan him out for a year,
about 85k. About 85k. It's not a lot.
85k a week.
Yeah.
So that's like what, 4 mil? 3 to 4 mil, if my math is correct. So yeah, he better not reject Serie A, by the way, because if he does, then I don't know who's advising this kid. There's no future for him at this club right now. There's no future for him in this league right now. If you reject Milan and Napoli, those are the two that we're rumored with right now, then I don't know who's advising him. Because number one of them are the current holders of the Serie A title in Napoli. More recently, I mean, Scott McTominay is making Ballon d'Or lists right now. I mean, talk about post-United glow up.
You know what's really funny? Do you know what I love? Do you know what I love about Scott McTominay getting the Ballon d'Or thing? First of all, he's Carrington boy, so I always want him to do well. But what I love the most is Hussam has to now recognize him as a brilliant player, because Hussam has dined out for the last 5 years on the personal award nominations and votes that Gerrard got are the reason that he's better than Paul Scholes. Now, the fact that Scott McTominay has been nominated, again, does that show a flaw in the Ballon d'Or and player awards if a player like him of his level can be nominated? Or did it demonstrate that it's not a worthwhile argument? If the opposite, then there's a lot of people that have to admit their football knowledge was bad, that he really was a good footballer and you couldn't see it because of hatred for United or the system, but there was a very good footballer in there. And there's part of me that loves it because it opens up an amazing the same as I want Rashford to do well at Barcelona, one Carrington boy again, but also I can't wait to see the look on people's faces that say he's trash if he goes to a club like Barca, where high level quality football is every bit as important as scoring goals. If he goes there and he's hit with the fans, hit with the club, it's successful. There's a lot of people on socials. I just can't wait to see how they twist it. I can't wait to see their pain in their eyes. It'll be a thing of beauty. So yeah,
let's be fair. Let's be fair though, Terry. When Scott was here, most people used to say United don't use him correctly, playing him in a pivot. He needs to be further up. You know, I even saw clips of this guy playing as a striker, bro, like in the academy and that. So he's always been a box crusher. That's one of his strengths.
I would say this. I would say you're right. Maybe in the last few months of his time here, but for the majority of his time, nobody was saying that. He was just called a shit footballer who hides during games, no technical ability, no real attributes that are any good. Most people, when we got that price for him, went, bloody, that's a lot for a player that's nothing. No one expected this. And when he went to Napoli, he hasn't just been a box crusher. This man actually played really nice football. He had brilliant games in the midfield. It wasn't like he was assessed in England. Terrible game, scored a goal. It was brilliant game and scored goals. So, did I think he'd be as good as this? No, I'm not going to sit here and lie about it and say, but I never thought he was as bad a football player overall. I did think it was time for him to leave Man United. And I still don't think in the medium to long term, if we grow our squad right, it's not the end of the world. Because I don't know if you do this in the Premier League. It's different leagues. And that's why I think Rasmus will kill it in Italy. Because over here, he's one of many physically and speed-wise. He's just part of the group. Where I think with his speed and power in Italy, I think he's going to look like Usain Bolt. And that's why Scott McTominay is considered a specimen in Serie A. Again, in England, he's pretty strong. He's tall, but he doesn't have the physicality of 85% of the midfielders here. So there's that difference. I think Rasmus will kill it there personally. I do. Viewers, let us know what you think. Let us know what you feel. Obviously, the Baleba news has come out as well, Staffy. And this got Staffy so excited that he said if it happens, he'll be issuing a full and frank apology to Ineos. It means he's got to give his Football Terrace certificates back as well. They've all got to return. But
I never received them, so don't even lie to the audience. All right,
you've had.
He said the FedEx was too expensive apparently for him to officially send them. So yeah, I didn't even get the PNGs online. So please,
I'll send you a PNG. But do you see? Can you see Baleba happening? Do you think Baleba is going to become a Man United player, Staffy?
Yeah, I could see it happening. Number one, the way Ineos has been moving, they just remind me of Shane McMahon when he came back and his music just hit. Here comes the money. That's what they're moving like. And I'm like, where's the money coming from? No one can explain. It's been one of those where like you speak to United fans about transfers and they'll be like, we don't know how to explain it to you, but we could pull this transfer out, but we just have no logical reason to how we could do it. Because the way we've been moving so far this summer, I mean, from all the news about, we can't even listen. You can't even blame United fans because it was only a few months ago that Sir Jim was on that one interview with what's his name, Gary Neville, talking about how we almost ran out of cash by December. We apparently, I mean, now it's very evidential that we had to do all these wage cuts in cutting people at the club or whatever to save money. But it looks like he wasn't lying because I guess all these cuts is why we saved money and why we're able to spend right now. All this lack of cash that's in the club, it's not that I'm saying it's a lie. I can't explain how we have a lack of cash in the club right now. And for any business, I mean, obviously you would know that, Terry. You worked in banking for years. Businesses just operate on cash. Like the more cash you have, more cash flow you have, that's the lifeline of a company. In our instance, when we say we don't have cash yet, we're able to go out and put money on Cunha, put money on Mbuemo, put money on Sesko. And these are all three expensive deals. You're talking about over 200 million combined. And then you're going for the biggest fish of them all, Baleba, who cost about 100 mil. I can't explain where the club is getting this money from. But
I know where they're getting
did something. You're doing a 50 cent. You're doing a 50 cent right now, bro. That's what it is.
They did something correct where they're able to go and do it. And to be fair, this one especially, yes, we do know that we're going to have to do a little bit of outgoings. This one you come in and help us, Don, because we're going to need some cash from you for Garnacho. There's the Højlund deal as well. So whatever he gets loaned, or hopefully we sell him for some cash, for some imminent cash as well. This is all money, in my opinion, that's going to go to Baleba. The way they're speaking about Baleba and about his supporters coming in right now, especially, I'll be honest, I know 100 million sounds too expensive, but I promise you guys, 100 million today won't be 100 million next summer. So it's like, Terry, funny enough, you just said that before. You said today's price is not yesterday's price. That's what's going to happen if we don't get Baleba now, because I don't want to go into a bidding war a year later with Liverpool, City, potentially Chelsea, because they'll buy players just for the sake of it.
Well, if Lavia has another injury-ridden year, Chelsea will still sell Lavia for 30, 40, 50 million because they're great at selling, and they'll go and get themselves someone like Baleba. I think, this is my personal theory. I'll go to you in a second, Don. I'm very sorry. I just want to get this on my chest.
No, go through.
I know they're saying it's difficult, and I get it's difficult. And Tony Bloom may be pound for pound the best negotiator out there. Something I've learned through talking to Jacobs and speaking to a few Brighton fans I know very well. They're very, very connected to their club.
Not just Brighton fans, but Chelsea fans will tell you as well.
Well, yeah, you guys know how hard
they were going to get Caicedo for like 85 million, and it ended up being way more.
So the way they operate is they don't tell anybody outside their club what their expectations are price-wise for players. They don't tell agents, they don't tell intermediaries, they tell no one. Internally, there's only about 4 people that know what their minimum price is for Baleba. If you bid and it gets rejected, they don't let you know whether it's close. They don't let you know whether it's £1 away or 100 million pounds away. They are so hard to work with. That all being said, the way we've allowed this story to come out, I'm looking at this summer and even last year, we were very particular at what we let come out. I think we've removed a lot of the leaks, the bad negative leaks from the football club, because it's not been like that this year at all. I think there's a great chance we get it. In terms of how do we afford it, look, we saved over 70 million pounds via wages over the last year by selling players, loaning players out. If you actually look at the 7, 8, 9 players that have been signed under Ineos and look at their starting wage compared to what everyone's coming in for between 80,000 and 150, 160,000. Every single player's coming in that price range, barring Matthias de Ligt, who's come in at 195 because he was on stupid money at Bayern Munich, as an example. And I think 180 for Cunha. Everybody else is much lower, but they're all earning somewhere between 80 to 150,000 pound a week less than all the previous 9 signings, 8 signings we made under the different regime. So you already can see the difference in money being saved there. 70 odd million pounds has been saved. There were the cuts of jobs. Didn't like anyone losing their job, but I understood the rationale. We were paying out for more staff than we needed, and we couldn't afford them. There was in other departments, and this is why when you read the report, people will go, why does it matter that the caretakers are spending £100,000 a year too much on materials they're not using? It wasn't about the 100 grand. It's about the 100 grand there, the £1 million there, the £2 million there, the £3 million there, the tens of millions we were paying for staff that weren't doing anything. Not people we actually need, not coaches, not scouts. And even scouting, we've reduced the scouting team because it's like we're getting all these scouting reports, and half of them are scouting profiles of players that we don't even want for our style of play. So much money being wasted. You add that all together, there's a lot there. But I always knew what we were going to do. We're not flush with money, but we're not broke. And in England, we do this thing, right? And we never say this, but Don will get it. Maybe they do it in America, but I know it's an English thing. There's broke and there's broke, right? You know, some people go, I can't come out, I've got no money. What they mean is, I've got money, but I've got to pay the mortgage, I've got to pay the bills.
Priorities,
priorities. They've got cash, they've got money. There's broke when it's like, I ain't got nothing. Like, there's nothing in my bank account. I think we're the aforementioned. I think we have the money for the essentials. And people go, how can you make people redundant but buy players? Buying players is one of the most essential parts of running a football club. Yes, we're not giving free lunches out to every single member of staff, which is saving us 2 million a year. It isn't like, well, how can you afford a 60 million pound player? That's a different thing. Some people can't afford to go to a fancy restaurant. Doesn't mean they can't pay their fucking mortgage or their gas bills. And it's not that people are dumb. It's the media do not do a good enough job educating football fans on what and how it means, how things go. So I'm not surprised we've got the cash. My theory about funding Baleba, though, is Bruno Fernandes, but I think it's Bruno Fernandes at the end of the season. My gut feeling is this: Bruno stays. My gut feeling right now, because you just see the report before the Baleba news that said Bruno wants to do at least 1 more year. I think we do 1 more year with him, and I think we sell him before the end of January to Saudi. Sorry, before the end of June to Saudi. That way, for this financial year, you pay that Baleba deal back. I think he goes at the end of the season before the end of June. It's just my little fan theory, conspiracy theory type thing. But I'm with you. I actually think we're going to get Baleba done in this summer window. And I think the reason we'll do it is because we've got a little bit of a free run at him. No, Chelsea are not going to go for him this summer. Liverpool are not. Arsenal are not. City are not. Everyone else in England, by the way, we're beating to him no matter what. Newcastle, we've proven it this summer. None of those clubs are getting a player we really want over us. But those other teams are out of the race right now. And I think we've looked at it. We've weighed up the market opportunities. And I think we've gone, we need to find a way. Almost, let's pay for it. And let's work out how we're going to sort it later. But we can't afford to watch that. We've done it too many times. We've watched that parade go by on a player. And Arsenal, you go back to that January, they should have just paid them. Again, they've got Declan Rice, who's been brilliant, but they could do it both right now. Let's be fair, right? If Arsenal had Caicedo and Rice in their midfield,
Rice as well,
it would have been a different. Well, but yeah, you get my. I'm just pointing out, like Caicedo would have been a great signing for them, and for me,
a better signing for them.
Well, I think they needed both, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, they just did what I think if you just had Caicedo, you still wouldn't have enough. Like, the reason Caicedo is so brilliant for you is because he does have Palmer and Enzo with him. If it was Caicedo with Gallagher and Dewsbury Hall, he'd be good, but your midfield wouldn't be as good. I'm talking collectives here. So, yeah, for me, I think we'll go and do it. I'm silently quite confident, is what I'm saying. I'm silently quite confident.
Although I was not ready to hear my Baleba takes when it comes to Caicedo.
Bro, listen, what? Wait, you want to try bring Baleba to the Caicedo table?
You're not ready to hear my takes. I know you're gonna cry, you're gonna get offended, but you're not ready to hear my takes, bro. Baleba, listen, don't let me get Baleba because I'm gonna start speaking different. You know, I've been quiet for a whole season now, but there's a reason why I was quiet. I didn't have players at the back, but the minute you give me players at the back, I'm gonna put them in conversations that are gonna make you feel uncomfortable. I'm just letting you know.
No, you can try bring him to the table. We'll see about that. We'll see how long you last next to Caicedo. But personally, listen, I hear what you lot are saying. You know, in the group chat, these men have been giddy. Yeah, I haven't seen Neeks this giddy for a while, bro. Neeks, I even forgot this guy existed. I've been seeing him going back and forth, messaging people, rattling.
No, respect Neeks. I'll give Neeks this. He hasn't been on the test for a while, but he's very active in the chat, and he's there when he's either in the dumps, and now he's here when we're well. So we're not gonna pretend that he was ghosting me and other shit. We'll give him respect.
Hey, maybe I haven't really been paying much attention in it, yeah. But Baleba, listen, I don't see Baleba leaving this window, personally, because I think you probably have to pay more than 100 million for the guy. You know what I'm saying? I think if you sold Bruno Fernandes this summer, I think would be a lot. It'll be more feasible. But like you're saying, bro, with Bloom, this guy, when it comes to negotiating, he does not budge, bro. Like, he's very, very hard to get over the line with, for deals with him.
But Bloom, by the way, is he English or American?
I don't want to repeat the same thing because I agree with you. Like, you've technically got a free run right now. Next year, if Rodri doesn't sign another contract, I can definitely see him picking Man City over United. For me personally, you know what I'm saying. But if you was to bring him into that pivot, he would help you a lot, man, because he brings a lot of athleticism. You know, he works well off the ball. I don't think he's that great in terms of his passing range, but short range and ball carrying, he's good at that. You know what I'm saying? He would definitely be a real upgrade in what you're building. Like, he would help you rebuild that midfield. But personally, I don't think you'll sign him this summer.
I hear that. So he's English. He's from I think he's from a Jewish background. He's an English guy, but he was a professional poker player as well. So he's a multi-millionaire. He's also a professional poker player.
Oh, Blue.
Tony Blue.
So I thought you were talking about this Hackney guy.
No, not Hayden Hackney. Hayden Hackney. No. So he's there. But yeah, the only reason that I am confident, and I listen, I think a lot of what you've said is truthful, and we may not get him. I just think with the way this summer has gone, this summer's not been about PR for me. I think we thought things were about PR. Now that it's coming to fruition, we haven't done a good enough job, a speedy enough job at selling people. We need to get better at that. The Mbeumo deal did take too long, but I think you look at the way we conducted ourselves in the Šeško deal. I thought it was impeccable behaviors. We haven't let the 5 back into training. We are moving them on. We've silenced leaks from them. We've handled it well. When we were doing it with Sancho before the new regime arrived, the way we were making him train with the kids and eating his lunch in the car, even though we were probably right to discipline him, we did it in a bad way. We looked childish and immature as well. I don't think we would have allowed that story to come out. And the reason I say that is Ornstein is a prime example, and I know Ben Jacobs is the same because we've had private conversations. Even if the agent of Baleba phoned them up and said United have made an inquiry, the next thing those guys would do is contact Manchester United. And if Man United didn't believe there was a chance, if it was honestly too difficult, the response would be, it's a nothing story. I don't think we would have allowed the story, even if the story came out, those guys would have said we spoke to contacts at Man United and they kind of played it down as it were. You see at the moment how Arsenal are sort of distancing themselves from the Eze deal and how Spurs distance themselves from Eze and Mbumo. I think we'd have done that if it was that impossible. I don't think we allow this story to stay alive.
But the thing is, though, Terry, I do think you want the player 110%, but I think the story is how it is, bro. Like, they basically said, even Ornstein said it himself. He said it's going to be quite difficult. Both parties know that it's going to be, quite unrealistic this time around. But personally, I think Ineos are putting it out there to show that they're trying to rebuild the team, innit? To try and bring a little bit more trust towards the fans and whatnot. Because right now, there's a bit of, there's a lot of fans like Staffy that doesn't, don't really rate these guys, and there's fans like Terry who see what they're trying to do. So for me, I feel like they're putting it out there to say, yo, listen, we're rebuilding, innit?
Here we go again.
We're rebuilding right now. That's what I think they're doing right now. Even though they know they're not going to get him, it's kind of just like, don't worry, man. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. That's how I'm reading it personally.
I get that. Listen, I get that, and you could be right.
Update that picture now that I'm giving you. I've been giving good vibes over the last 2 weeks.
It. When we land Baleba and you're out here issuing your Ineos, it is really funny though, right? That I'm not saying we shouldn't put pressure on Ineos, but there's protests tomorrow because before the pre-season game, after the new owners have invested their own money, £50 million into a new training facility. I sometimes look at it and I do sometimes think, and Chelsea went through this, and I've read loads of Chelsea tweets and threads and a couple of blogs even, not blogs, articles, no one uses the word blog anymore, where people are like, I hated Clear Lake, but I now see the vision. And part of me does sit there a little bit and think, there has to be lessons from this. Last summer, the way Liverpool fans were like, FSG are mental, they're crazy, they're stupid. Turns out they were brilliant. They wanted to assess the squad before spending money. Then they've gone and spent that crazy money. Chelsea, people couldn't see the wood for the trees. And now they're going, I get the plan. Look at how that squad's coming together. Look at all the players they're selling. 230 million, 280 million. You're tracking towards 300 million in sales this year. That's almost £1 billion back on players. And you've still got a brilliant squad. And there's probably another 400 million worth you can sell. People are now seeing it. The problem is everybody wants the answers at the beginning. Everybody wants it to make sense and work straight away. And
exactly,
I still stand on this with Chelsea. And there were times where I said, I don't understand this, and you call it out in the moment. But overall, I've always maintained this line of, I get it. And even when they got into financial difficulty and then sold off assets and found loopholes, all I ever said is, fucking hell, they're good. And by the way, maybe that's how we're funding Baleba. Because I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow you find out Carrington's got a new sponsor and, we sold the women's team for 200 million. Then they're the kind of things that we should do.
What you've described there is a term called deferred gratification, bro. A lot of people don't know about these things, right? Because they want things there and then. But how many times have I told you many times what Chelsea are doing with all these players that we're buying? You spend all this money and that. I said from day one, bro, we're looking to flip most of these players. Most of these guys will never even play for Chelsea, bro, right? And you could see over the years the likes of Angelo, the likes of Omari Hutchinson, right? All these guys that were selling off, even Gallagher and that. These guys were bringing in a lot of profit. And you can see right now that we're reinvesting that money back into the first team, right? Look how much money that we've spent this summer already. And look how much money we're bringing back in. So when people are like, how are Chelsea spending all this money? We make money. So we're going to spend money. That's just how it works in life, Terry. The more money you make, the more you're going to spend. You know what I mean? And that's literally what Chelsea do.
Yeah, no, sorry. I'm just, Indy has just tweeted.
Yeah, I saw that too.
You've seen it. The 7 p.m. more breaking
7
news
p.m.
coming.
There's like big United news about another player apparently.
What's it's not Baleba news?
Is this not? So it's the same source that broke the Baleba news to them. That source is going to break another player.
You know it's going to be Donnarumma, didn't you? 26 million Donnarumma.
I think that will be.
I'll be honest with you. The more I did some research yesterday, and I did some deep thinking about this, and I was like, you know what? Oh, he said it won't be
already.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough, KJ. But speaking of Donnarumma, I do think it's a good chance to get him. I'm not retracting my statements about him. I do think people overrate him. But I do think this is a cheap deal that would get done for around 25 mil. And I'm talking about 25 million euros, not even pounds. I do think it would be around that price. I don't think he's in a position to demand a high wage. I looked at all the goalkeepers. I looked at the goalkeeper market and I compared his wage demands to the highest paid goalkeepers in the world, let alone the Premier League. I think United or any club who wants him, who's desperate for a goalkeeper, I mean, Chelsea was one of them, and they were talking about him. You can generally get him for a lower salary than what he's making because he's out of contract next summer. PSG just signed another goalkeeper. He will be benched going into a World Cup year.
Yeah.
And the only player that is making around the money he's asking for is Thibaut Courtois at Madrid, and he's arguably the best goalkeeper in the world over the last couple seasons. The only goalkeeper who makes more, and you kind of can explain it, is Manuel Neuer. Even though he's a little bit washed, the guy's been at Bayern for 16 years. He was always going to get that wage for being that loyal for that long.
Being that loyal.
That good.
So this is what's interesting about it.
One second, sorry. Alisson, who I think is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League over the last 3 seasons, he's only making 150K. There's an easy argument to sit there and talk with them and be like, listen, this is what you're asking for, but this is what the market is, and this is the real value of you. If you don't accept it, you're either sitting on the bench for one more season, going to a World Cup year, and you're not getting that money anyways next season. Take a 200K as an example instead of 300K, and you're guaranteed a decent contract for at least 3 more years.
But what you're doing is you look. So I did the same. I was looking into the Donnarumma situation. So I went and did a bit of research into why he's leaving. And there's a few things on this. There isn't any credible reports that it's because he's a bad goalkeeper, isn't good enough for them. It's 2 things. You look at biggest thing is wages. So PSG's wages, base wages were over 320 million euros a year. Just on the base of the players, not including bonuses, score bonuses, etc. That made it jump up. They've already reduced that by 82 million in the last 2 years. Messi going, Neymar going, Mbappe.
Yeah, the big South American.
They're also going for this new approach, which is they're trying. I mean, if it was an English club doing this, they'd get called racist. I find it funny how no one's called it. You get called Brexit FC. Their main thing is looking for young French players that are highly talented. So they found this goalkeeper, and essentially the money that's been asked for by Donnarumma is 10 to 12 million euros a year. If you convert that to pounds, that's 166K a week. Now, if you could bring him in if you could get him for 25 million and pay him £170,000 a week, I think that's a good bit of business. I don't look at that and go, that's crazy. Now, I wouldn't want him, even if he was free of charge, on 300 plus K a week. I don't want the wage structure at this stage being messed up that way. I think whoever they are, even a Champions League winner, I think they've got to come in on similar money and then kind of all grow together. I think Chelsea have gone and got that approach. Yeah, got that approach done well. You see the togetherness in the team and squad. So yeah, I look at the Donnarumma situation. I get why PSG want to move on for the money he wants. They want to lower that wage structure. They don't want to be this Galactico team anymore, and it's paying dividends for them. They're the very best they've ever been after following this strategy. Donnarumma wants to be paid more. They're like, no, we're not going to go to that high for a goalkeeper, and it creates that situation. But actually, he would only come in if he came in the mid-range of what he's asking PSG for. He wouldn't even be earning more than Cunha. So considering the quality of goalkeeper, what he's just achieved, the season that he just had, I don't necessarily think that's too crazy. I think.
What, is that breaking news?
New pin tweet from Fabrizio. Pin tweet. Garnacho to Chelsea.
No, swear to God.
I'm bored with it. Come on, we know it's happening, man. We know it's happening. You know that one.
Run! I want my money. Exactly. I have Balebas to chase, bro. I don't have time to waste with you. I don't have time to waste.
I've accepted it. So doing all that shouting at me right now, it's not gonna do anything, right? And for me, Staffy, personally, like I've told you, I think he will do better here, bro. I honestly think he will do better here. And I'm not overly stressed. I'm not overly stressed because we're still looking to bring in Xavi Simons. He's walking into a very good team with a very good manager, very good style of play. And if it doesn't work, CEX around the corner. I keep telling you, it's a win-win. Yeah, I sleep at night knowing that he's going to get moved on if it doesn't work. It's as simple as that, bro. You know what I mean? But if it does work, I can come back and I can crash it on you. Yeah? Terry, not so much, because Terry actually believes he's going to cook, right? Whereas guys like you are acting like he's useless. I'm going to come for guys like you.
But this is why I care about the price. So if I'm consistent in my approach. I've praised a lot of things Ineos have done this summer. I like a lot of their ideas. If we let him go for 30 million, 35 million base, I'm pissed because I think he's so much better than players at that level. Chelsea just got 20 million for Broja. Doesn't matter how good you think Broja's ability is. The man's never fit. He's never fit. He's never available. Garnacho barely gets injured. His goal output is actually above the average for wide players in the last 15 years in the Premier League. So even if you look at outputs, it's there. I get there's technical things that people don't like. He's not a 30, 35 million pound player. We have said, we've been staunched on 50 million bare minimum. Now, I think there'll be a deal, and I think that the clubs will end up meeting in the middle. Base will be between that 40 and 45 range. What I would want us to do, though, and this is me looking at this purely from a business transaction, we need to be getting a sell-on clause in there, because that's the only thing I would say. It's like Chelsea, if you're buying him, we shouldn't be letting you buy him to sell him to flip him. We should be looking at it like, well, we'll give you it at this price, but there's got to be a sell-on fee in case it don't work and you guys sell him on. That's what I'll be looking. The deal is what I'm looking at. But he is going to go to Chelsea because he only wants to go to Chelsea, and that will force it that way. But I do agree with you, Don. I think he's going to be a much bigger success at Chelsea than people think. Just the directness of his play, and I actually think you guys will take him back a year or two and put him back to where we should have been, which is coming off the bench to begin with. Last 20 minutes of games, even in the Europa League final. Comes on in that last 20 minutes, and he did look dangerous for us. He's very good against tired legs. I think at the price you'll get him for, he could be a brilliant asset. He'll do a better job from the bench this season than Madueke will. Madueke went for 48 million, and I think we need to use that as a benchmark. Now, I get the player wants out, so it weakens our position, but we've got to try and do that in this deal. But as a footballer, I think he's going to do well at Chelsea. Do I think he's not going to be Eden Hazard? He's not going to be a star like Frank Lampard, nothing stupid like that. But I think he could be a good Sean Wright-Phillips, to give it some historical context. A good player that Chelsea fans liked, who did a good job for them, who they'll look back on when he leaves in 4 or 5 years and go, he did well. He was all right, wasn't he? Yeah, that's what I think he'll be for you guys.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Again, I don't think we're going to be dependent on him. That's where the problem is with Garnacho. If you're bringing him in to depend on him, it's a problem. But if you're just using him there in the background, fair enough, innit? You know what I'm saying? But what it is with Staffy basically has washed his hands with him. He's not hearing nothing, because to him, he just thinks of Garnacho and sees red, right? Whereas with me, even before Chelsea were linked, I was defending this guy on streams, bro, talking about, the way you man are talking about him, I literally just watched this guy come off the bench and help United change the game. I literally watched him start the game, and he was actually looking like one of the more dangerous attackers, right?
Staffy don't like him because he put Sancho on the bench and he's not over it. That's what it is. He's not over it.
I don't want Garnacho, bro. I have to be real about it.
It's the same reason he hates Bruno, is because some Man United fans said he was better than Pogba, and Staffy is just one of those football fans, one of them guys who, when something he likes gets beat, like, he'll be the kind of person that would hate us. He probably hated Taylor Swift for no other reason than she won an award over Beyonce. He moves like Kanye like that. Do you know what I mean? Just moving mad, bruv.
You know what? You did a lot of waffling when I could have presented myself, since I'm present. But there you go, guys. Typical Terry Fleurs. Speaking for someone who's actually on the panel and can speak for themselves. Is my mic working? Hello? Yeah, my mic is working. So you could have just asked me questions instead of waffling on my name.
Me and you can sit back now and listen to him lie. Let's do it. Come on.
There's nothing to lie about. Listen, I'm not surprised that you did that. Funny enough, yesterday, who was I saying that to? I was saying it to Indiana. I said, every time you disagree with a Garnacho stan, a Bruno stan, they always sit here and say the typical same answers. Oh, you just hate someone because of your personal agenda. And then if you say you don't like a certain player and you can give like 100 footballing reasons, they'll do what Terry did. Oh, he's only saying that because he benched Sancho, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? At the end of the day, the player who I don't rate anyways, and I've been consistent on it, is leaving. Whether you want to bring in Sancho, whether you want to bring in Pogba, whether you want to bring in Bruno, you can dance around it all you want. I just want my money, brother. Don't waste my time. Don't ever waste my time again like this. I sat there for 5 minutes, listened to a useless monologue from Don, and then I don't know for what reason you decided to chip in there, Terry, when all I care about is getting my 40 to 50 mil. We should be talking about how much money I'm getting. Just give me my money, because I have... This better be worth it.
Fabrizio Romano, Manchester United have definitely opened the door to a exit and move for Rasmus Højlund, as revealed yesterday. On the other hand, Højlund is insistent on staying, but he says that AC Milan in contact with his agent. United want a heavy loan fee, around 6 million euros plus full salary covered. But I think this is a positive. Listen, I wouldn't worry about Højlund saying he wants to stay. He has to say that in case he does stay, because how can you face the fans by saying I want to leave? But yeah,
he's a happy dance, Staffy. He's a happy dance, yeah.
I want to do the Alan Pardew dance. Remember when he did it in the FA Cup final? That's what I want to get up and do right now.
Give us a dance.
That's what I want to do.
Well, have you not seen that Davido meme when Davido's like fair love, but the guy's begging him, Davido. That's Rasmus to you, lot. I'm telling you, bro. This guy does not want to go back to Italy. He wants to stay.
All my nightmares are vanishing within minutes right now. I mean, as I said again, bad day for Terry. Every player that he banked on, I told you, this guy just has a thing for ugly footballers. All of them are about to leave, and I'm about to get some good footballers. My club is trying to get rid of Rasmus and Garnacho and give me Baleba. What are we doing here?
It's scary people, Terry. You know, it's scary.
Here we go. Now Terry's gonna
funny, right?
give the people something great to talk about. Here we go.
I've got to jump in here. So you're like,
of course.
Yeah, the players that I wanted a signing to work at my club. I'm so sorry for wanting my signings to be successful. I'm sorry that makes me a bad man, right?
I didn't say it made you a bad man.
Terry loves ugly players. One of the players that I used to like, that you used to hate, has just been nominated for a Ballon d'Or. Your players that have left that you rated,
I didn't hate McTominay. Don't lie.
Right? Equally, right? The players like Rasmus are going to end up getting us a bigger fee than players like Sancho that you like and rate. So at the end of the day, I might love the ugly footballers, but it's all the ugly ones who leave our club who go on to do quite well elsewhere. It's all the ones that you and Baller FC wank over, leaving.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, I'm not a part of Baller FC. Don't do that.
You know exactly what I'm saying, right? But again, let's move it from you. This is what's so funny, right? I don't mind people saying I like ugly footballers because I just look at it and go, Rooney's my favorite ever player. If you think he's an ugly footballer, that's up to you. But from my perspective, I'm like, all the players that Baller FC hate at United, when they leave, most of them go on to do really well, or we get decent money for them. All the ones that they say, he should be playing instead of Bruno, he should be playing instead of Rashford, he should be in midfield instead of Scott, he should be doing this. They're the ones that leave for a pittance or for free, or we have to pay off. And then all their careers die for one reason or another. Baller FC, when it comes to Man United, they're not just dead, they're fucking extinct. Anyway, back to you, Staffy.
Hey, but equally, before you lie on my name, you remember, as much as I want McTominay gone, what's one thing that I stayed consistent with? And when he won the Serie A MVP, what did I say? We should have sold him for way more than 20 mil.
I agree.
You can say that I didn't like him, but at least be honest. I kept saying 20 mil is a crime because in the same week, I remember, in the same transfer window, what's his name? Emil Smith-Rowe went to Fulham for like 45 mil. I said, if a player who didn't play football for 2 years, consistent injuries, is going for 45 mil, how are we selling McTominay, who is guaranteed double-digit goals every season, is going for only 20 mil? And that's the player that I wanted gone. So you can't, if you're going to tell the story, at least be like, you know what? Even the players who wanted to move on, he was honest about their prices, and they said this should have been worth more.
No, I'm not really.
The same thing with Alanga, by the way, when he was only 10 or 15 mil. I forgot what it was.
But in fairness, Alanga, I'm not really talking about you. I'm talking about Baller FC. Alanga was another one that I didn't think Alanga was good enough for us, and I still don't think he's one of these. Still don't think he's this potential top class winger people do. But I saw he was another one though that Baller FC spoke about like he should have been playing in League One, and he's done quite well. I just don't trust Baller FC when it comes to footballers because they get so much more wrong than they get right. It's because they do the thing you were talking about behind the scenes, Staffy, where they'll go Dom, where they'll go, I'd pick Gyökeres to start. If I had to choose to sign a striker for my team, I'd pick Gyökeres over Jackson, but Jackson's a better footballer. And I do get your logic of
David.
There's technical things he does better, but I think we should ban that way of judging a footballer from professionals, because if you would pick Gyökeres to be your striker over Jackson, by default, logically speaking, that makes him a better professional footballer.
But Terry, you can. It depends on the conversation that you're having.
Two things can be true, Terry.
Yeah, two things can be true. Like if you ask me who's a better striker, Gyökeres or Jackson, I'll tell you Gyökeres, bro. With my eyes closed, bro. It won't even take me more than 5 seconds to answer the question, right? But if you're breaking down their attributes, like who's better in terms of link-up play, I'll tell you Jackson. Who is more technical? Who's got a little bit more IQ outside the box? I'll tell you Jackson. There's certain things that he has over Rasmus now, over Gyökeres. But in terms of just the fundamentals of being a striker, finishing chances, there's no debate. But you could definitely talk about.
So I agree with you on that. I agree that there are attributes that Jackson's better than him at. But I think when you judge a football player, if you're debating a player, their position is striker. The better player, the better footballer is the one you would pick. Now, the reason I say that is I used to come from a fighting background. Someone could be amazing on the pads, could be amazing on the heavy bag. Somebody could be a world champion on the speed bag with their eyes closed, blindfolded, hopping on one leg. That doesn't make them a better boxer. There are boxers out there, for instance, the speed and accuracy of Amir Khan was one of the best I've ever seen in his weight category. But didn't make him a better fighter than Manny Pacquiao. And I think this is what we do. No other sport do we do this. No other sport do we don't turn around and go, do you know what? And I'm making this is a made-up example for a hypothetical situation. You wouldn't look at Djokovic versus Andy Murray and go, Andy Murray's got a better drop shot and he's got a better service return and his technique looks so much cleaner. So yes, Djokovic is better, but a better tennis player is Andy Murray. We only do it with football.
Yeah, but it's your definition though,
but it's not my definition. We pick and choose 2 or 3 attributes and go, that makes him a better footballer. But we don't apply over. We don't do it we don't turn around and find fighters that do certain things better than Floyd Mayweather and go, because those 2 or 3 things are better than Floyd Mayweather, it makes him better than him as an overall boxer. We look at
hold on. There's nothing wrong with, by the way, when people say that. I feel like we do too much of it when it's just really facts. Like you can look at so many players. Like Berbatov is an example. I think Berbatov was a very, very good technical player. He didn't score at a very high rate, but anyone who wouldn't think that Berbatov, as an example, is a better all-round footballer than, I don't know, give me a player that scores at a higher rate. Like Lukaku as an example.
Alan Shearer.
I didn't watch Alan Shearer, so I didn't want to use that example. I was too young for that.
Lukaku,
I want to use Lukaku because Lukaku, I mean, as much as he's disrespected, I think he did score at a very high rate, at least in the Premier League. Like, just because Lukaku scored more goals than Berbatov, I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend that he's a better all-round footballer than Berbatov. Berbatov just generally had everything, and he just didn't score at the rate that maybe you need at your current team. So if I have a team that's very technically sound, Haaland actually is a better example. Just because I say I want Haaland in my team, it doesn't mean that he's probably a better footballer than someone else. Like, he's not a better footballer than Berbatov. Berbatov is a clear footballer than him. But Berbatov can never touch him in terms of goal scoring and the scoring rate, especially because his physicality. So if I have a team that's already set with so much technical ability and I need someone to create for and I need a goal scoring machine, of course I'm going for Haaland. But if I have a team that's a little bit lower on the technical part and I need footballers that kind of bring up that technical level up, and I say I'm going for Berbatov instead of Haaland because he's more technical than him, that's not a bad shout. I feel like people need to understand that 2 things can be correct at the same time. You could state that if someone is a better footballer than a goal scorer and someone who's a better goal scorer, I still rather you in my team, even though you're not as technical as the other guy. That's fine.
So I understand that systems play a part in this. But if you were asking me now, peak Dimitar Berbatov or Højlund, I'm actually Haaland. I'm picking Pete Berbatov because Berbatov was also a world-class football player and he actually scored quite a lot of goals. And I think if you put him into a team as good as that City team is, he'd actually score more than he scored at Man United and Leverkusen and Tottenham. But the thing for me is this, is we're using someone like Gyökeres and what he does, and we're using Jackson. You can't compare Nico Jackson because Dimitar Berbatov is superior to Nico Jackson in nearly every single facet of the game, probably barring speed, and Berbatov wasn't a slouch. So you're talking about a top-class to world-class striker and comparing him to another one. What we're talking about here with Gyökeres is a top-class striker that could be world-class and someone that Chelsea fans view as a backup. There is a massive distinction between the categories of players that these two sit in. So I don't just think because of a few good attributes, you can say better footballer. If you're looking at Haaland and you're looking at Lewandowski, who are 2 peak top category players, I think it's fair to go Lewandowski overall is a better footballer. Goal scoring levels go to Haaland, but everything else goes to Lewandowski, but he also scores on a high level. So when you do that comparison, the players have got to be in the same ballpark as one another. Because they're midfielders.
I don't really agree with that.
They're really technically gifted, but you wouldn't put them on the same level as you wouldn't say just because Aaron Moy or Chris Brunt, because they're good technique, were near Frank Lampard. But Terry, much far ahead of them.
Yeah, but Terry, listen. Obviously, Gyökeres is a better striker than Jackson, and people in the chat were moving crazy earlier because I said IQ. Gyökeres has better IQ than Jackson when you're playing up top and in terms of the movement and that. But outside of the box, bro, come on now. When you watch both of them, you can clearly see who's better outside of the box. But for me, the reason why I'm happy to move Jackson on is because number one, I feel like Delap and Pedro are both better than him, right? In terms of their finishing and in terms of their IQ. all-round game and all of these things. Cool, right? But just because Jackson's not on the verge of becoming world-class, it doesn't mean that there isn't attributes of his that are better than Gyökeres. I think that's.
I haven't disagreed with that. I haven't disagreed with it. I just don't think those attributes that are better. When you look at, for instance, touches in the box, aerial duels won, conversion rate, non-penalty goals XG. You look at the duels. You look at the chances created. You look at the possession lost after the first touch. The most important attributes for a striker. Gyökeres outstripped him in every single one. Now, does Gyökeres look as pretty doing it? Yeah, so and that's the thing for me. Yeah, exactly. He's superior to him in nearly every single way that's important for a striker. Yes, when he drops deeper, when he dribbles with the ball and does all of this, Jackson looks really good. That's more my issue. Jackson's better at being a winger than Gyökeres is. He's better at being a kind of attacking midfield, ball carrying player like that. But he's better at him than doing that. But that's not his job on a football pitch. You suddenly put Jackson into those positions and make him compete against the top class wingers and the top class midfielders. He drops down that pecking order because he hasn't got all the other attributes that goes with that. So really, that's why I can't say better footballer for me personally. But attributes, I totally agree with you. He's got some that are better than Gyökeres. I wouldn't.
Listen, Jackson's rated, isn't it? As much as I'm not going to lose sleep about him leaving in that role. Look at the clubs that are coming for him, man. Newcastle, Bayern Munich. I'm seeing Tottenham are linked right now. United were looking at him as well.
Decent teams. Again, I'm not saying he's dog shit either. I'm not saying he's a dog shit football player. That's never come out of my mouth. I think finishing is poor. Very he misses too many big chances. But there we go. Look, we're going to jump into some super chats now because we've got some
big. Hold on. Someone just said Newcastle bidded 80 million. Are people just spamming in the chat or what?
80 million for who?
For Jackson or something like that.
No, there's nothing on that. Nothing's broken on that just yet.
I think
Newcastle look like they're going for Samuel Amarodium and Kolo Muani. Oh no, just come out now. Clubs are active to sign Muani. He hasn't stated who yet. He hasn't actually Fabrizio. So Newcastle.
Haven't you seen the tweet on Visa?
No, Newcastle sources have denied any contact for Kolo Muani. But they are looking at Samuel Amarodium and Wissa. They're the two they're looking at right now.
Yeah, Wissa. Wissa. They're looking at him as well.
Yeah, they're looking at that. Let's do these super chats here. First one's remember Terry Baller FC hyping up Donny van der Beek. Yeah, they said Donny van der Beek was light years ahead of Bruno Fernandes. That was maybe the worst take I've ever heard.
I've never rated that guy, man.
But this is what's crazy. Technically on the ball, on the eye test, on the ball, he probably looks better than Bruno. Just isn't a better footballer. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the next Martin Edwards, and Barada, the next Gill. Listen, I'm not doing that. So I'm not putting him in that category. Martin Edwards and Gill did a lot of good for this football club. I'm not going to say that. What I did love about Carrington today, though, I really love that they paid tribute to Caffey, who worked at the club Caff was there for 55 years, and Sir Radix opened up a plaque that they've put up in the new training facility that so her memory lives on, which I thought was a nice, beautiful touch. Martial is in Greece, whilst Rashford is at Barcelona. Yeah, I'm not.
Show your Golden Boy awards on the table, and we'll speak.
Yeah. Let it go, man. You know that meme of the Gucci bag that's fucked up.
But that's also Rashford. But we're not gonna sit here and do this. Me and Terry got in so many arguments about Marcel. Marcel's one of those that I always defend with my heart, bro, because I felt like the
reason Martial has fallen off. The reason he's fallen off is because his body broke down. It's as simple as that. His availability, look, his technical ability was better
more than that, but.
Well, no, I think
the reason I don't like to put him and Rashford in arguments, one played with a broken back for United for over a season, and the other one played through injury because Ole put him in trust. You can blame Ole for playing two of his players injured, but that's how much loyalty both of them had for him. So I'm not going to sit here, have a debate on both of them when I feel like one of their main fall-offs was them playing through injury. So I'm not doing that.
Terry, you mentioned a few weeks ago about this one Newcastle fan said the club won't ever come back after the Europa League final loss. I want to see that tweet. Yeah, I'm going to find it. It's in my bookmarks. I haven't been able to this week, but I've cooked at Newcastle in other ways. It may not have been a Newcastle fan. It may have been another one. I've got to go and find it, but I definitely remember seeing a tweet. He's probably
said that Newcastle fan.
There was somebody tweeted, and I go into my. It'll be in my bookmarks somewhere. The good thing is, I think you can search bookmarks.
Yeah, you can.
Let me search the word "dead." It might come up. I don't know.
David's asking me, what's your score prediction later?
Yeah, why are you looking?
I'll probably say 3-1, bro. 3-1 Chelsea, 2-1 Chelsea. First game back, innit? These guys have been on holiday, man. I see Cucurella and that eating paella and that, bro. So Guys might have to just brush off a few pounds.
He's about to work overtime because of that injury to Colwill, so he better get ready.
Hey, broski, listen, we'll talk about that, innit?
Left center back is calling his name. That's all I'm saying.
Who?
Cucurella.
No, you crazy? No way. No way, bro.
Center back in the back three is calling his name.
Yeah, in the back three, he can potentially play there, but I never really liked him when I saw him there at Chelsea. Like, he's a little bit too short for that position. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll talk about that, man. Because yeah, Colwill getting an ACL, it's just Chelsea, innit? Another guy from Cobham getting another ACL, bruv.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that book, but I'll have to go through my bookmarks and try and find that tweet. I can't find it right now. I definitely saved it. But I save a lot. I've got a massive hard drive full of certain tweets. I can't wait. One day they're all coming out, man. I've been saving them. Staffy's in there a lot, by the way. He's in there a lot.
Obsession, bro. Obsession. Oh my god.
You're in Terry's hard drive a lot. That don't sound right to me.
Yeah,
Staffy,
bro. What's up with that?
Staffy's the one that's always talking about my ass, not the other way around, bro. You must tweet about it. You go to the Football Terrace group chat and just write the word arse, right? The amount of time Staffy tweets about my ass is ridiculous, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna cook your ass. I'm gonna saute your ass. I'm like this, and there's a different word before every time I say it, just so I can keep it fresh and different.
Why, when you mention the ass, you always put a spoon there as well? I don't get it.
Relax. You do too much now.
Well, don't put it in there. Don, get Igao on to put that Jackson tweet back up. Did he tweet something and delete something?
Yes, bro. He got added by Lippy. Yeah, big up Lippy.
Yes, Lippy.
About David's take, innit? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, David's take on Gyökeres and that. He deleted it, bro. He deleted it because he thought David was gonna get cooked, but it was actually a lot of people agreeing with him, right? And he deleted it. He's in the chat as well.
Find shame, brother.
You're there. I know you're there. You know, reveal yourself, lad.
Find shame again.
Owners, but transfer junkies couldn't see it. I hear you. The transfer market changed this summer. Liverpool set a new standard, and Ineos have actually tried to react to it. A deal for Baleba shows intent. I agree.
Respectfully, brother. Respectfully, we're not about to do this. I don't think anything United are doing is a reaction to Liverpool. We're not competing for the league. It's generally been so obvious that since they came in, whether you agree with every move they made or not, they have made it very evidential that they're trying to rebuild this team. Let's not pretend that if Verts and Isak news and all these signings that were made, Ineos were going to be like, oh, Liverpool didn't make moves. Yeah, you know what? Our team is good enough. We'll just go with the same team next season. Brother, don't do that. Come on. Like, you might be a Liverpool fan and you want to give your FSG too much credit there, but come on, let's not do that. Has nothing to do with FSG.
There we go. There's a reason why Matic said what he said about Scott. Like, he's not the most technical midfielder, but he has quality, because you won't score the goal he did to win the league, because now he's a Napoli legend. Yeah, Joshua Jack, you always someone that didn't want him to go to first. I've got to give you your flowers on that one. Tony here says Liverpool are dons. There is a sell-on clause in the Luis Diaz deal with the 72 plus 9 million easy add-ons. Could see Bayern paying 90 million in total. True. 80 million plus Collier and Kone for Baleba.
Respect Kone, bro. Leave the kid alone. He's gonna play a part in the next couple seasons. Leave him alone. Collier, respectfully, he could go.
He's so average, bro. Honestly.
There's nothing. Yeah, he's the little description of an average player, which is not bad, by the way. If you're an average Premier League player, it means you made it in life. Like, that's very good. But he's nothing more than what he is.
This here says, could there be a Carrington sponsor incoming? There could be. We should. These are the things we should be doing. I know people don't like it, but at the end of the day, you bring in a 30-40 million pound sponsor. You know, pay some of that money up front into a player. Let's get it done. Don, how comes Rice got nominated for the Ballon d'Or every year since playing for Arsenal, and Caicedo hasn't even once? Isn't Caicedo the better player?
Ooh.
Hey, man. Enjoy your Friday, bro. Enjoy your Friday, man. I hope you're happy with Rice.
You got to answer that question. You've got to answer that question. Come on, respect the user here.
Come on, like I'm bored of this Caicedo Rice conversation. All I've got to do now is go into Arsenal Twitter and see what they're all saying. I'm seeing a lot of people now talking about something I've been talking about for time. Oh, why is Arteta playing Rice there? Why is Arteta playing Rice there? If you're so happy with Rice, why are you saying this? Yeah, if you're so happy with Rice, yeah. By
that logic, Declan Rice is better than Paul Scholes, and he's not. So.
Yeah. You know what I mean, bro? It's a popularity thing, isn't it? Like the free kicks giving man all this clout, all this PR in that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Rice.
So you're in agreement with me that like getting nominated for Ballon d'Ors, etc., doesn't necessarily make you a better football player.
No. Of course not. Of course not. Not always. You know,
You can
always tell the ones that actually should be in there, the ones that are just there on a PR one. Like Jude, why's Jude in there as well? Why's Jude in there as well, bro? You know what I'm saying? Rice should not be in there.
He had a horror year. I can't lie. He had a horror season last season. I can't believe he's there.
Yep. And he's on the front of FIFA. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't.
At least the year before, it was justified because he scored a lot of goals. So you can actually be like, you know what?
Happened with player awards. There's been teams where like teams have been bang average, players have done okay, and then you'll see a player from a big team still win a team of the year in the Prem Ballon d'Or nomination. You're like, how are they there? It's because it's about keeping everybody involved. At the end of the day, there really shouldn't be any Real Madrid players in there this year. Real Madrid had a pretty average year by their standards, but again, you can't have a Ballon d'Or without Real Madrid players in it because they have so many fans around the world. Like, they can't force Man United players into it. If they fucking could, they would, you know. If there was if we were in title races regularly, but not playing that well like Real Madrid, like they'd put a player or two in. They want the fan bases involved. There were years, right, where Chelsea and Man United were so much better. Think about how good those Chelsea Man United title races were, how good our teams were, how good our midfields were. And you'd still have two midfielders from other clubs in there. You're like, they just weren't better than our guys this season. But you gotta spread it around. We need Liverpool fan base involved. We need to. Let's give some to Spurs. Let's keep Arsenal involved. We can't just make it. Literally, the two best teams are Man United and Chelsea. The teams of the year should basically be our players because we were the better teams by a country mile. Especially when you had Scholes and Carrick. You had Lampard, Balak, and these teams were solid every game. Players scoring goals, winning matches. And then you were like, how many players do we each get in the team of the year? One or two each. Doesn't even make sense. How can you only have one or two players in the team of the year when you were so superior to everybody else? And
it's so funny as well because people need to remember. I haven't forgotten how the season went with this guy because I watched these guys weekly. Start of the season, he was injured for a bit. He came back against Chelsea with a broken toe. These guys were saying he's not playing at his best right now because his toe's broken. Yeah. And the second half of the season is where he started to pick it up a little bit. But then towards the end, he dropped off again. It was only really the only memorable performance I can remember of that guy was Real Madrid, bro. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I don't. He just had an okay season. He wasn't as good as his first season. No way, bro.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Rice was better than Partey last season.
He wasn't. Partey was.
I rate Rice. I don't hate Rice, but I feel like sometimes it's either overdone or on the hate or the praise. I'll be honest.
Yeah, bro. That's what it is for me, man. But anyway, let them enjoy him. Innit? He's doing such a great job. I'm glad that you're happy. I don't do the back and forth with Caicedo and Rice anymore. I'm telling you, bro. It's self-explanatory, right? And now that Caicedo's in the Champions League, you're going to see the PR go up even more. Yeah? This time next year, we'll be talking about him in the Ballon d'Or nominations and these things, bro. Yeah? That's what's going to happen.
There we go. Let us know what you think, people. Let us know what you think. This year says Man United moving like Barca 2022. Some are pump faking the press that they're broke and signing good players for those positions they needed. Big up. I hope so. Good morning, gents, from Alberta in Canada. Thank you, Michael, for tuning in.
Shout out Canadians.
Most beautiful
Except
part
for Canadian Cam. By the way, Canadian Cam, I just want to let you know, your boy Canadian Cam said he's not really impressed with Adam Wharton. That is a talent ID that you find in Canada. Well, I don't want to blame Canada, but that's Canadian Cam talent ID. This is when I say nuke North America. Just give me a date so I can leave. Because you know what? It might be justified with some of these football takes. You have Igal saying Arteta is better than Arsene Wenger. You have Canadian Cam saying Adam Wharton doesn't really move him like that. I'm done, bro. And then you have Wolves yesterday saying that Nani was a bench player when United were winning leagues. I don't claim these. This is when I invoke my Egyptian passport. I don't claim these guys no more. I'm moving out of North America.
I understand why Americans get a lot of stick talking about our game now.
This is yesterday saying get your inks out of my sport. Every time I see a bad football take from an American, I just turn. I'm like, yeah, get your inks out of my sport.
And Joe,
I swear to guys, I'm not joking. Will yesterday with you guys know
what do you say?
Dave. He was doing a stream with End the Stream Dave. Dave was saying that Nani was better than Vinny, and he said if Nani played in today's game, he would be a Ballon d'Or nominee because he just rates his overall game. Will said the opposite. If you just think Vinny's better, that's fine. But the problem is, he said he was a squad player coming off the bench when United were winning league titles. That is the most insane thing that he said, because he clearly didn't watch United at that time. He doesn't know that this guy was one of our best players after Ronaldo left. And there was generally that one season that he was in a debate, him and Bale, for PFA Player of the Year.
Yeah, he was going to
Bale won it. But he was the second best player in the league that season after Bale. He doesn't know about that.
Was that the season he scored a mad goal against Arsenal? From like weird angle.
He did one of those, I don't know what that skill's called, a snapback or something, got through and then chipped it to the back post.
A lot of people don't know that, but that goal actually counted as an own goal. It didn't even count as a nanny goal.
Oh yeah, I know what. Do you know what? I think that he got given the goal by the dubious goals panel. They used to do this thing in the Prem back then. You'd wait till the end of the season, and then you could get they used to call it the dubious goals panel, could give you a goal back. That's when we beat them 3-1. We beat them 3-1. He did get the goal in that game. I'm actually looking at that game right now. Yeah, he got the goal and he got the assist. He got a goal and he got an assist, I think.
He made an assist to Rooney on the counter.
Yes, no, it wasn't goal. So look, yeah, they gave him the goal. And
he assisted it to Rooney. If you check it, I remember watching that.
He started a lot of games, especially after Ronaldo left. The only issue Nani had is he picked up injuries. Like his second season only played 13 league games. I think, after 2012, the next 2 or 3 years at the club, he could barely play. He had injury problems, but he started a lot of games. He wasn't just some impact player. He had a lot of starts for Man United. He was a very important part of our squad.
I remember what used to happen at the time. Yeah, he used to just get cooked for trying to be like Ronaldo. Like, oh, look at this Fugazi Ronaldo.
That's what a lot of his former teammates said. They said that his biggest issue was that when Ronaldo left, he tried to be Ronaldo rather than being Nani. And that's why there was sometimes a lack of consistency. But I'll tell you one thing about Nani. One thing that I'm confidently talking about is that I'll put Nani's goal catalog against anyone's goal catalog, and there's a debate on it. This guy, his goal catalog was insane. Left foot, right foot, inside the box, outside the box. His cheeky little chips at time. That dink that he did against City in the what's it called? Not the Super Cup. What the fuck do we call it again? Community Shield. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Community Shield. The chip that he had, I think it was it Fabianski in the 8-2 against Arsenal. The guy's goal catalog was insane, and he had a lot of big goals. That goal that he scored when we beat Liverpool 3-0.
3-0 Old Trafford
right after, and we won the league like 2 games after. I'll never forget these goals.
We got a better name. What would be the Americans? What would they rename the Community Shield? I think they'd call it the All English Championship or something like that. Like that's what
I don't know, brother, but please name it the Super Cup, because if you name it the Super Cup, it just has a lot more weight to its name than the Community Shield. That was a Community Shield.
Yeah, well, it's called a community. Well, in England, we used to community things. Is what they used to be. Used to be called the charity.
It used to be the Charity Shield. I remember.
It's a charity game. That's why it's called that. It's about raising money for the charities that the FA give money to. But I do agree.
It used to be sponsored by McDonald's, didn't it?
Yeah, McDonald's should sponsor it. But if they got Elon Musk? I'm just thinking of a rich person. If they got Elon Musk to sponsor it and gave like a £10 million prize and called it the Super Cup, it would suddenly hold a whole different level of weight to a lot of people. You are right. If you branded it differently, made it more serious, people would care more.
Yeah, that's what Spain and Italy do. They play in like Saudi Arabia, Qatar. They used to do it in Japan, I believe. They just go to a foreign country and they just play it there. And there's so much money in it.
Alan here said, hey guys, it's now or never for Baleba. All the big clubs have almost finished their business already. We must do what needs to be done. Well, listen, we can do, and it may end up turning out to not be, Staffy might be right, no reaction to what other people have done. It may just have been a case of, let's not go in for, again, food for thought. Going for Baleba in June, maybe other clubs go, shit, we wanted him next year. We have to buy him now as well. Well, maybe if you wait and you see clubs do their business elsewhere and he's left alone, everyone else has done their work. I remember watching, there's a show in the UK called The Voice. Do you have The Voice in America where they sit on chairs and when they sing, they press a button?
Yeah. I don't watch it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So we have one. And will.i.am, I used to watch it when the first couple of seasons I watched. And will.i.am used to do this thing where even when he heard good singers, he'd wait because they could only have like 5 picks each. And he'd wait for other people to get their picks. And 2 years running, he did this. And he was like, that's because he goes, I've got all the picks now. And I think someone brilliant's going to come. And 2 years running, he got the winner by waiting. Sometimes patience in life is key, and let's see what happens with this. But maybe Man United have been smart by letting others spend their money first and moving in. Let's see. For once, everyone is united, and the 1958 group clowns are trying to divide the fan base with negativity. How is it Ineos's fault the Glazers didn't sell 100%? Look, I'll answer this very quickly. The problem with it all, it's all theory. It's all theory. So the theory is if Ineos refused to do a part deal, 100% or nothing, then the club would have been in financial difficulties, would have run out of money, like Sir Jim said. They'd have had to have ended up selling it. Or they just get private equity investment from somewhere else. I'm afraid that's more likely, because what the reason I don't believe that is I don't think the Glazers would have allowed the business to go bust, and then they end up selling it and having the assets stripped by administrators. I just don't see that happening. So I just don't believe the theory that if Ineos's offer didn't come in, the Glazers would have been forced into selling the whole thing. They'd have just gone and borrowed money against the football club to inject some cash and continue running it. I get the theory, but the theory is based on what you think may have happened. But let's be honest, why would these leeches that are only in us to make maximum money, which is what they're here for, the Glazers, why would they allow the company to go bust so then they get almost nothing out of it? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't make sense. And I wouldn't call the 1958 group clowns. They've done a very important job protesting, and we need to keep the pressure on these owners. So I wouldn't say it's wrong. But there is a feel-good factor around the club at the minute. And I think when clubs and fan bases are in good moods, I think teams perform better. I do believe I don't think negativity necessarily works. There's proof that sometimes when a fan base shows some snap anger, you can make changes. But I just don't remember seeing a fan base being really, really angry and then overnight everything changed. I can't remember that personally, but that's just me and my opinion. What's your guys' percentage mark on getting Donnarumma? It's a no-brainer for me. It depends on if he's willing to come. That's from Mike Hill. Long time no see, Mike. Hope you're well. What do you reckon percentage-wise, Steph?
Honestly, I wouldn't give it a high percentage just because it doesn't seem like the links are too strong. And I feel like they look at it, they're like, yeah, we can go into the season without a new goalkeeper and still be fine, because I'd rather get a midfielder like Baleba as an example. So I'm considering the fact that we're going to go for Baleba a little bit more aggressively, and that's where we're going to put all our focus. I'd give it a very slight, like 10-15% chance.
Same
here. Start with that hat is what Ronan says. He's from Boston. Is he Boston or Philadelphia?
Boston hype. Boston hype. No one cares.
That's a new picture. He changed his picture, innit? Yeah, he changed it.
Ronan, enjoy tanking next season, bro. Just remember that the Knicks ended you. It wasn't for the Knicks.
Josh, in fairness, we think Son's gonna. Did you see that woman that thinks Son's gonna play for the USA at the World Cup? Did you see it,
bro? Some of the things that they say, and I'm like, I appreciate that you guys try to get into the sport.
Out the picture, Donald Trump stealing the trophy. You Americans.
Bro, I saw the craziest. So they made a tifo for him already in LA. And it doesn't make sense. So they made a big American flag with a blue background or whatever, and then they put Son on one side, and on the other side they put a bison. You know the bison, like the buffalo. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, everything just doesn't correlate. What does the American flag have to do with Son? And why have all animals you put the buffalo? There's no buffaloes that live in LA or in California. It just didn't make sense. I was like, I'm trying to put to see the correlation. It didn't make any sense. I'm happy that they have it, but I just don't get it.
Wait, hold on. Is that an animal on their logo?
It's a buffalo, but like it's a huge buffalo with like so much fur and hair. Like it basically lives in the snow. Like it has nothing to do with California.
You'll find out.
Like bison. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Was that?
Your country can be a little bit strange at times.
Bro, that's the West Coast. It feels like two different countries. I'll be honest. Like
Tony here said, you literally tried to do a back and forth at the start of the show. Someone asked you, this is to Don, a legit question, and you shameful Don.
What back and forth? We weren't even talking about Rice until you brought him up.
Skeeto, bruv. Don Skeeto.
You hold on. Someone brought him up and asked me a question. We didn't talk about Rice at the start of the show. I've said my take on this guy. Now it's your fan base, your own fan base that are cooking him. Or cooking Arteta even. Yeah? Caicedo's better than this guy. I've said this many times. I'm bored of that conversation, bro.
Get those mosquitoes in the chat, people. We'll come back to the Arsenal question in a minute. Staffy missing more points than Luka Doncic, whoever that is.
Doncic.
Doncic. Does he play netball, basketball?
Luka Doncic. He's like a Slovenian. Is he Slovenian or Slovakian? Slovenian. Actually, there we go. We got him and Sesko.
Cool.
Slovenian player that plays in the Lakers. But he's like generational. It's like.
So Newcastle very heavily linked now to Samu Amarodium. Very heavily linked and closely, very close it seems to getting Visser. This now means one thing, doesn't it? And as much as it's like been fun banter in Newcastle, here's the sobering right hook to wake you up or knock you out. Liverpool are going to go and get Isak, aren't they, this week?
You mean Liverpool?
Liverpool, sorry, are going to go and get Isak, aren't they?
You know what you also did as well on the video that I watched, Terry? You called, who did you call? I think you called Jackson. Nico Williams.
Oh, because I said Nico, right? Yeah. I do that sometimes. I was on a show once, and I meant to turn around and say, this is when the court cases were going on. I meant to speak about your old goalkeeper Mendy, and for whatever reason, I called him Benjamin Mendy, and I didn't mean to. Oh shit, wrong one.
You just carry on. The thing is, I do it sometimes.
Yeah. But Isak to Liverpool. It feels close now, doesn't it? With Newcastle, closing in on their strikers.
They're going for Samu, and I'm not gonna lie, it's a good signing for them. If they miss out on Isak, he's a very good project striker. He's not gonna be anything like Isak, though. I gotta tell you guys this: he's more of a physical striker with a box presence rather than an overall game. Like he's a bit clunky with the ball. He's not the best in his overall game, but like if you want a very dominant physical striker who's only improving, to be fair, he's a good player. So I do see him eventually coming to the Premier League, whether it's to Newcastle this season or eventually. Remember, Terry, we had that conversation. You asked me, who would I go for this summer for strikers? And one of the reasons I wanted a stopgap is because I want to be in for Samu next summer. I didn't want to be in for him now because he's another project striker, but I wanted to give him one more year in Porto and see how he does. If you guys remember, this guy cooked the lick. When we played Porto in the Europa League, he absolutely destroyed the lick. There was one goal where he absolutely dunked on him and scored a header. I think he scored 2 goals that day.
He's good in the air, man. Very good in the air.
Yeah, you guys almost got him. You got the fake here we go because of him.
No, we got the hit. I think we got the here we go.
You got the here we go. And it didn't happen.
Yeah. Broke down. I didn't want him in it. I said I'll give him a chance. I spoke about how good he is in the box and that, but why I didn't want him, Staffy, is because the overall game, like you're saying, bro, like he's a bit clunky, like you're saying. There's times where the ball just bounces off of him and that. But he's a handful, man. He's quite physical. He's tall. He's quick as well, and he knows his way around the box, innit? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I think that'll be a good signing for Newcastle. But then, what does that mean for Jackson? Because if they get Visa and they get Omarodian, then maybe a Villa. I don't know. Bayern have sort of inquired, but I haven't really seen anything there from Fabrizio. But that journey's finished now, anyway, between him and Chelsea. But that story's finished. Fabrizio's confirmed already that he's leaving. So I don't know where he's going to end up, man. I can't lie.
Yeah, man. I was surprised when Bayern came in for him, by the way. Nico Jackson is there. I was very surprised by that one. I mean, Bayern, they've been a weird club over the last couple of years. I don't know what the hell happened to them. But the fall off in their club, I mean, I know they're still like they won the league last season. So people were probably wondering what fall off. But some of the talents that they're going for, like the Bayern we grew up for the last 20 years at least, like it's what Terry just said about PSG earlier, but in a German fashion. Like all the best German players played there. And then some of the players that they're going for, I'm just a little bit confused. I'm like, wait, why is a Chelsea reject going to Bayern? Like, don't get me wrong. I speak well of Nico Jackson, but I also know his limitations. To see him linked with Bayern, that was just weird. Like, all right, you can explain Newcastle with the desperation because they missed out on every striker. How can I explain the Bayern? It just didn't make sense, to be honest. But if you guys get the evaluation for him, 80 million euros, I'm getting annoyed, bro. This is why I'm happy that we're finally getting our lick back on you guys when it comes to Garnacho. Because some of your business has just been so good that I'm just naturally hating. Like, I'm admit it, I'm hating. Because some of the business has been so good. Sales and incomings. When you got Kwanda and the other player, I forgot his name, the midfielder. You probably know who I'm talking about. He did meet for you guys. Asugu, yeah. And then now I'm looking at the outgoings. I'm like, how is Nico Jackson anywhere near 80 million? He just
personally, I don't think
that it annoys me.
I don't think we'll get 80 million. I'll be real. I think we'll probably get between 65 and 75. I think we're setting it quite high to meet in the middle, innit? I don't think we're going to get 80 million. Because if you say, oh, yeah, we're looking for 60 million, you'll get like 45 million, 50 million, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're just going to overprice him a bit and accept a little bit lower. But yeah, man, I don't know what's going on with him. Because Tottenham they've put a name in their hat, apparently. So let's see. Let's see, man. It's been a minute since we jumped into
now that you said Tottenham, actually, I don't know if they're on the agenda today, but
you can bring them up.
I actually took a look at their team after the injuries. I feel like I haven't been paying attention to them. I understand now why Henry in the chat yesterday said that they need a lot of signings, but that front line is so bad right now. Solanke out injured, Kulusevski out injured, Madison out injured. Bro, Richarlison in big 2025, you know.
They've still got Johnson as well, bruv. And Tell hasn't really hit off right now.
Their fans are kicking off about Kudus as well. They were complaining about Kudus yesterday, which I'm a bit, you know, he's been great. They alongside the reason why you've not noticed them, it's a little bit like people and Terry, why don't you do any City content about what's going on at City that they're not linked?
What's there to talk about?
But again, City, I'm not going to say, look, City have had a better summer than Spurs and Newcastle. They signed Cherky, they signed Reinders, they signed Aït-Nouri, very good. But I really thought they'd do more. Like they've done nothing else. And I know they bought in January, but one of those guys has gone out on loan. So maybe that's what it is. I remember speaking to like most City fans towards the end of the season. They expected like a 350 million pound plus summer, but they've not. I don't know. And maybe we're underestimating. You know, maybe there'll be some progression next year from Mamouche. Maybe Savio and Doku are going to be better. Rodri is back. Cherky could hit could be amazing. But I really did think they would do a bit more. Livramento maybe. But maybe they'd look at some wide players.
What's that guy's name? Is it Lukeba? CB's boy, yeah? I saw a few links to him, but I think they're going to go into the season with Mateus Nunes at right back. I don't think they're going to sign a right back, personally.
Yeah, no right backs. It's, again, I'm not saying it's a bad squad, right? So I'm not comparing it to, because I think right now, let's see who they end up. You know, you had Samuel Amarodi and you had Wissa. You know, I still think they need more Newcastle. They haven't added enough. They've kind of been replacing players rather like Alanga. Is he an upgrade on what's his name? Miguel. What's his name? Amarim. Yeah. You got Jacobs that plays. Ramsey that plays there. Amarim, yeah. He plays well, but they haven't upgraded anywhere yet. They haven't got the goalkeeper. They haven't got centre backs. They haven't added some depth in the field.
They got Trafford, didn't it?
No, Trafford went to City.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant City. I thought you were talking about City.
Yeah, but City have added him, to be fair, as well. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether he ain't starting over. You wouldn't expect him to start over Edison.
But the thing is, when you deep it, right, like all the teams are up there that are going to be going for the league. We've all got areas that we need to improve. Like, if you look at Liverpool fans right now, they're begging for like more centre-backs. You look at Arsenal, they're begging for an attacking midfielder, left winger. You're looking at Chelsea, bro. We've got Colwill now that's out the whole season. That's a conundrum in itself now because it's like, cool, Hato's there, but personally for me, I'd rather Hato at left back because number one, I want a taller centre back, and number two, if you play Hato at centre back, bro, what happens if Cucurella gets injured now, for example?
But this is also it. Like you look at it, and a lot of the teams that started the summer off fast, you suddenly look at their team. Why you go fast? There now looks like there's holes and injury, and you go, hang on a minute. You look at City, and you go, you get an injury there. Who plays? You look at Liverpool now. I mean, look, they're gonna get Isak, brilliant player, but they might go into this season with only 3 centre backs. That is I always blame ownerships and the way the clubs run. Right, it's not the manager's fault per se. Imagine they do spend 400 million, but if they go into the season with 3 centre backs. You are asking. It's almost like tempting fate, isn't it? You know.
Yeah. Bro, it's like crossing the road with your headphones or not looking. You're gonna get run over.
At some point,
something's gonna happen.
They've got to go and get a centre back. They have to. So it's interesting that the teams that started off fast have suddenly got these holes where you think, well, they've really got to do. Because I look at City and I think good window. I'm not predicting them to fall out the top 4 or nothing stupid, but they need to do more. I look at the 2 teams that got Champions League football in Spurs and Newcastle. They have done nowhere near enough to improve their teams. Now, I do think Spurs will be a better side because I think Thomas Frank's an excellent coach. But this is what I mean. Sometimes it's wasted on certain. You know, they say like youth is wasted on the young. That's Spurs in the Champions League. It's a waste for Tottenham to be in the Champions League. There's no point in them being there. They can't exercise the power that it brings or the money that it brings. They can't attract the talent. I'm not saying clubs shouldn't be there in reality, but it's like you just think to yourself, Kudus is great. They've done nothing else. I know they signed Tell, but he was already there.
Paulinho, they got Paulinho.
Oh, no, Paulinho. Yeah, again, he's a really good signing, to be fair.
Apparently, he had a shocking debut. I didn't watch it.
But they need
They got smoked.
How do I
They
say
got
this?
smoked yesterday as well, man. I forgot they were playing. Man. But let's talk Chelsea anyway. Let's talk Chelsea, man.
Okay, that's random. Go on in. We'll talk about earlier. Go on.
No, we didn't really cover Chelsea today. But bro, listen, this Colwill situation, it's techie. I can't lie, it's techie. Personally, for me, I would just get Vega. I would get Vega back into the team. I would chat to him and say, bro, we need you in. You know what I'm saying? I would play Vega personally because when you're talking about the ball playing ability that Colwill gives us, as well as the defending, I think they're like for like. I think they're very similar. You know, there was even a point last season where Colwill was playing bad, and I said drop him for a little bit, play Vega, and then obviously bring Colwill back into the team. You know, but if we're going into the season, like I said, without an extra centre back right now, Badia Shield, bro, this guy, you can't trust him. One game he looks amazing, the next game he's doing some bozo shit. I'm not trying to play Tosin or Chalobah left centre back. I don't be playing Hato there because we've got no cover for Cucurella if that happens. We need a centre back, bro. We need a centre back, man.
What are you saying about Gay?
Fabrizio's saying right now we're not looking at one, but anything can change between now and the end of the window.
What are you saying about Gay though?
I'll take him. I'll take him. He can play at left centre back. I think on the ball he can offer what Colwill does. Not to the same level, but you know he can do that.
He's not left-footed though.
He's not left-footed, but bro, he plays on that side, bro, and he's good. He can actually play on that side. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would take him, but again, that side it's a bit dead, isn't it? If we signed Højlund right now, we wouldn't have no problems. We could have just shifted him over. But it's a bit techie, man, because Cole was one of our key players. One of our key players, bro. We build out from the back so well with that guy because he just sees the pass, he just punch it in.
But it can't be an excuse though, because you said last year Arsenal can't use excuse, so you can't use it as an excuse, can you? That your season ain't going to be great.
I'm not saying that because I rate my squad. Right? But I'm just saying that I don't want to be moving Hato because then there'll be no cover for Cucurella. So we need to bring in a left centre back. Badia Shield gets injured a lot as well, bro. He gets injured a lot, man. Fofana fit right now, but I promise you, he probably won't last till past Christmas.
I hear you. But yeah, have you not got no other left backs at your club at all?
Bro, it's literally Cucurella and Hato. That's it. Hato's the cover for Cucurella.
You know what's sad? That this happens. Obviously, it sucks for him to get injured. So I hope he comes back better and comes back soon. But you haven't mentioned Badia Shield once.
I just mentioned him. Have you not been listening, bro?
No, but like, okay, he and all this stuff. You should be a little bit more confident in like, yeah, Badia Shield now steps up. He's left-footed. You signed him like 2-3 seasons ago with a lot of potential.
I like, but bro, listen,
the fact that you have no belief
because he's inconsistent. He's unpredictable, right? There's no in between with him. He's either amazing or he's just shocking. He has games where he's amazing, where he's the ball playing is good, the defending is good. There's other games where man's getting the ball and just giving it straight back to your position. He'll get the ball in our box and you just give it away. Like there's no in between with that guy. I don't trust him. I don't trust him right now. I'll be real.
I get what you're saying, but it's just like, what's the point of having a very deep squad? I'm talking about this depth. That when an injury happens, you just completely have no belief in his backup. Like, the hype that this guy, by the way, came to Chelsea on. You guys had this whole song for him. That what was the song again?
Bowley went to France in a Lamborghini.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Bro, because he was cooking when he first came, man, and then with
so much potential. Much potential. This is his time to step up.
I can't trust his ability for one, right? His concentration, and number two, I cannot trust his fitness. He struggles to stay fit. He struggles to stay fit, man. That's a problem right now at the back, because Colwill, bro, away from the football, he gives us leadership back there as well. I'm not going to use it as an excuse because I still think we've got more than enough to do well, but that's an area where ideally we need to be signing someone.
Yeah.
Even if it's a stopgap, bro. Even if it's a stopgap, man.
Well, you're gonna probably drop the better part of 100 million on Xavi and Garnacho. Again, if you really are worried about your defensive line, would you expect either additional spending or the team to cut one of those players loose and spend the money elsewhere?
Oh, bro, listen, we're unpredictable, man. That's one thing about Chelsea. Like I can see us bringing in a centre back, and if we don't, it'll be silly. It'll be silly, man. Because Badiashile will play a little bit. He'll get injured again. Like I said, Hato, listen, there'll be no cover for Cucurella. And then I'm not trying to play Chalobah or Tosin on that side, man. We know these guys are squad players. I don't want to be seeing them most of the season. That's when it's a problem, right? They need to be just coming in when we need help, not to be playing majority of the season because Colwill's got an ACL. I don't want to see that, bro. We need a starting level centre back on that side.
Yeah, no, I hear you, mate. I hear where you're coming from completely. Let's have a look at some of these super chats here. Do you have? Okay, we'll come back to that one. Bins, Simmons, and get Luke Barr.
Lukeba.
Left centre back. I want him at United next year. I want him in that left centre back position.
We were looking at him when Todd Bowley first came. We were looking at him.
Don, you're getting called out here. It says Johnson had like 25 GA in all comps last year. There's a lot worse at Spurs than him. He's not bad. He's not bad considering they were a disaster.
Yeah, when it comes to the numbers, you can't put this guy down in it. But the overall game, overall influence in games, it's not it. They need better than him.
I hear that. Cheers, Rodin, for that. 66 didn't join the Galacticos. He left them. Are you guys calling him 66 now? I lost Luka, whatever his name is, to the Lakers. Micah Parsons wants to leave the Dallas Cowboys. Getting Cunha and Mbumo Sheshko makes this sports summer a lot better. From Javier Hernandez. Yeah.
Ooh, Don just basically leaving the Dallas is like if Bruno would have left United for you, Terry. You'd be heartbroken.
54-15.
Just ignored that.
I always have receipts. I didn't know what you meant. So
I don't know what you're referring to.
What Don not answering the Ballon d'Or question is what he's talking about. That's what
I think he's talking about Rice. I brought him up or something like that. I don't know what he's on about.
What do you guys make of the Eze and Arsenal situation? It's basically been said that Arsenal are distancing themselves from him now, and without a major sale, that they may not buy anybody else. I mean, this ain't great news for Arsenal fans, is it?
Hell no. Hell no, Terry. I don't know if you've seen the new thing that's come out, right? In terms of like, expected assists, XG and that, where Arsenal ranked. Have you seen that table?
What, from when? Let me
DM it to you right now so you can see what I'm referring to, right?
Cool. Yeah.
And you can see the lack of creativity, man. They need Eze. They need an injection of creativity. They need more GNA from that midfield. They need a spark. Because like I've been saying for time, Arsenal are stale. So if they go into the season without an Eze and you're just depending on now Ethan Nwaneri, a Dalman that might come into the cup games and whatnot, because I don't think Arteta will trust him in the league, right? And then Madueke, that is so underwhelming, man. That is so underwhelming because before we were having conversations about, can they sign Rodrigo and Eze? And then now to take away the guy that we all think is going to go there, it's peak. You know what I mean? Because personally, I think he's still going to go, innit? You know what I mean? I know there's some news coming out today, but I'm still thinking he's going to go. But if they don't get him, then yeah, that's shocking.
So the XG, so they had 59 XG last year. Is that in the league?
I'm guessing so. It doesn't say.
I think it must be league stats. So yeah, they were ranked 23rd. They were ranked 23rd. Obviously Barcelona.
In Europe.
They're on 90. Yeah, Barcelona at the top there with 91 XG is the top. PSG 88, Liverpool 82, Chelsea sitting there in 8th on 67. Who else we got in there? Newcastle on 63, Bournemouth on 64, right up there. But yeah, Arsenal down in 23rd on 54, just ahead of Brentford and Tottenham. At least you're ahead of Tottenham.
You're mocking it. When you read the data, because people like to get on to me about stats and that, bro, I use my eyes first and I go check the data. And the data right there, it matches up exactly with my eye test, bro. They need Eze to help them when you're watching the game and obviously the metrics to improve as well, bro.
100%, bro. I don't understand what the fuss is about. And people just get offended when we say that. Yeah, every time I watch Arsenal fans, like AFTV, and I watch their reactions, what they're complaining about. They're complaining about the same things like me personally have been saying on Straight Facts. Why is it different than when it comes from an Arsenal fan rather than a non-Arsenal fan? Like, I don't get what's the lack of IQ when it comes to that. Like, are you that butthurt or are you that egotistical that you don't want to hear it from a rival? Like, I'm just giving an honest opinion. You can like me or hate me if you want, but the truth is the truth. The truth is they need someone to play on the left wing. You need someone to balance out their attack, and they need creation. There's no point of signing Gyökeres if you not create for him. He doesn't create a lot for himself or I should say against a low block. He's a very good transitional striker. I think he's probably the best. And I think he's the best transitional striker in the world currently. That's how much praise I gave him. But if you're going to bring him in and you're not going to play direct football, more on the floor, allow someone who plays on the left side to allow him to make his runs, play the ball in behind for him, or even just link him up and have him carry the ball into the box. If you're not going to do that, you are wasting him. You don't go get a premium striker, but then you just don't maintain him. It's like going to buy a Mercedes, but then you don't want to put premium gas, or just maintain it properly. That is what's going on with Gyökeres right now. You need to get him another creator on that side. There's a lack of creativity on the pitch. You only have two creative-minded players. That one of them has been not performing very well in what's his name, in Odegaard, and that's it. You rely on Saka too much, and then you complain that he gets doubled. You do need to go and balance it out. Eze, I don't think he's the best thing in the world, but he does offer a lot on that left-hand side that is not currently at any left winger that plays at Arsenal. Trossard is not that creative. Martinelli has no creativity. You don't have an attacking-minded midfielder that can come off the wing like he does. He can play off the left, invert into central areas. That allows probably Majlou Scully to push higher up the pitch, occupy that left wing side, and then you got now some of a box midfield now of Eze and Odegaard with Rice and Zubamendi behind them. That's enough of an overload in the opposition's half, and there's at least one more creative player that can play the ball to his striker and behind and all the stuff that I mentioned. There's nothing wrong with saying that. Watching Arsenal right now, I will be honest, it feels boring. It feels like a chore. I was talking to an Arsenal fan yesterday, and he said he goes to the Emirates to fall asleep now. That's what he said. I didn't say that. He said he went to the Emirates to fall asleep because
apparently the other day at the Emirates they were booing in pre-season.
Bro, they have to be frustrated, bro. I'm sorry. It's year 7. It's year 7, and your manager needs to show adaptability in his coaching. He's been here long enough. We got pushes all summer that Berto wanted Sesko, but Arteta wanted Gyökeres. Or was it the other way around? Whatever it is.
Arteta wanted Sesko.
Okay, yeah. Actually, correct. Thank you for correcting me. Either way, if your sporting director pushed for it and you guys went with that decision, you need to show that you're adaptable with your coaching because you're coaching a different style of striker right now. So I don't think Arsenal have had someone like Gyökeres in a while, which is just a physical striker, likes to run in behind, demands the ball, is very comfortable with running with the ball, and if he can't create a shot for himself on a turn, like he loves to chop to his right and just shoot. If he can't do that, he'll go to the byline, he'll put it in the box. The guy's very comfortable carrying the ball. There's no point of putting him in situations where you're gonna lump the ball to him and ask him to do a Mitrovic shift. You need creativity on that pitch right now, regardless. Go and benefit Gyökeres with the signing of Eze, because if you do it, it reminds me a lot of like when United basically signed Pogba. Even though Pogba has a talent in the midfield, is way better than Gyökeres as a striker, but still, we went and got Pogba, never really give him a proper destroyer next to him, a proper DM, and then we looked at all these years later, we're like, we blamed him, but we didn't blame the proper recruitment around him. If you're going to go and spend premium, you have to maintain that asset that you just purchased, and you maintain it by adding the right players around it. As is the first correct.
You make a good point. You make a good point, because I remember when Chelsea were linked to Haaland, right? Like the first time round, and I used to say all the time, like, if you bring Haaland into this team, you'll be seeing Timberland boots on him, bro, because the creativity in the team is literally Reece James and Ben Chilwell. Yeah, and these guys are, they can get injured at any moment. In the midfield, we had no more creativity from Fabregas. Hazard was gone at that point. You know what I'm saying? So Haaland, if he came to Chelsea, bro, it would have never worked out. And Gyökeres right now, when you're looking at how Arsenal play, I don't see him hitting the levels that he can hit as a player, because I rate him as a striker, but not in this system, not with how they play right now. You know what I mean? If Gyökeres was to come to Chelsea, for example, I know that he's going to be eaten, because you've got guys like Palmer, Enzo, all of these guys, Neto creating for him. Whereas when I'm looking at Arsenal, I don't see the same level of creativity in that team, man. How about you, Terry? Do you think Arteta will change the style of play, bro? Because that's the main thing I've been focusing on this time around. I've been saying for time he should change the style of play.
I think he will. I think he's got the ability to, because he's changed it before. He's been expansive. He's been more defensive. The problem that has been with the last 2 preseason games is they've played against teams that are just sitting back and absorbing. So there's this element of when teams do that to you, sometimes you've got to be smart and go, well, no, you can have the ball then. You don't always have to take the initiative. And if they are going to be playing, this is the thing, they're still going to play against 80% of the teams that are going to sit behind the ball. And that's what makes it, that's why they need the Ezes of this world. And I think they have to go out and do it. I still wouldn't be panicking if I was Arsenal right now. And I get why their fans might. It's their club. If they fail, it's no skin off my fucking nose. Like, it doesn't impact my life. But the one thing we haven't seen from him, and I've watched all but one of their preseason games, is I haven't seen these main players all play together yet. So, for instance, the game against Fiorentina, Zubimendi and Rice and Odegaard and Gabriel and somebody else was on the bench. So it's like half the outfield players that were probably going to start most of their games. They haven't all played. So what I haven't seen yet is Rice and Odegaard and Zubimendi on the pitch at the same time as Saka and Martinelli and Gyökeres with their main defenders behind them. And I know that they're not going to play that team every single week, but when you rotate, it's a player or two. Every single preseason game has kind of been 6 of their main starters and 6 of their kind of bench guys. And maybe that approach is going to pay dividends for them when the season begins. That's the only bit where I find it a little bit hard to judge, because if you look at the stats, it matches the eye test. When Zubimendi's on the pitch, they have more of the ball, they're more controlled in possession, and they're not being counted on with as much ease. When he's not on the pitch, Norgard's done a good job breaking up the play, but they can't maintain the possession in the same way. Therefore, they get caught more and they're more susceptible to the counterattacks. So that element there is a problem, but they've got to add more creativity, because right now, I'll tell you, with Martinelli, I watched him the last 2-3 games. He is just running into brick walls. He can't find a man. He doesn't look, and he might get better throughout the course of the season, but in terms of starting this campaign, it doesn't look good. And their fans are on the edge right now. And I will say that they're on the edge. If they start that, listen, right now, my mind might change by close of business tomorrow, where both of us play our last preseason game. I fancy Man United to beat them on our opening game of the season. Right now, not like smack them on like stupid. Right now, my gut feeling is that game will be 2-1 Man United.
I'm telling you, Terry, yeah.
There'll be a meltdown. If they lose it, if we lose, United fans will be annoyed, but we'll go, okay, it's Arsenal, title challenger, let's go. If they lose, I think the amount of pressure then just escalates
Terry, you're actually,
so quickly.
The players that you've got now, you're actually a bit of a kryptonite for them, right? Because Arsenal on the transition, I'm telling you can get at these guys, bro. You can get at them. Even last season, I've seen them conceding goals on the transition. Like this preseason, the other day, they conceded on the transition quickly. I could just imagine United at Old Trafford, keeping the ball a little bit, but soaking up the pressure, waiting for their moment to see those holes, win the ball back, and you're seeing way more Cunha and these guys running at you, bro. Yeah, Sesko, I reckon, will probably start that game as well. He's actually good on the transition as well. He's good at holding up the ball, linking up the play and that, right? So I think that'll be a little bit too much for them to handle, bro. When I'm looking at that attack, I actually prefer that attack is actually more dynamic than the attack that these lot are trying to build right now. You know what I'm saying? And that's because of how their manager sets up the team. You know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me at all if United beat Arsenal, man, because I don't think they're ready for the season. I know they've got
we're a very transitional team going to next season. I feel like a lot of people don't notice that. I feel like a lot of people are not really prepared. Speaking of a lot of United fans, I don't know what this notion is that they think we're gonna dominate possession a lot. I don't remember who it was that told me United. I think it was you, Terry. You said you predict United to have like 55 to 60%. Which is, I mean, like,
no, I didn't say
really a dominant possession-based team, anyways.
I didn't say that. I said last year we were like the 6th highest with possession, around mid to high 50s is what I said. I didn't say that we.
Oh yeah. That's why I asked. I kind of remember, but I do expect United to be very transitional next season. If you look at some of the profiles that we're going for players that are very good at press. They can maintain a pressing game for the as large parts as we can during the game. In good transition, which is why we're really aggressive for Baleba, because we want to be comfortable losing the ball and being hit on the counter, because we want to have a team that, as much as we press, and if our press gets beat, we can run back and win the ball back. So that's why we're really demanding athletic players, but players that want to press, players that are very comfortable running with and without the ball. So those are the Dumu fits that, Cunha fits that. Cisco's a striker, so I'm gonna leave him out of this one. But as I said, Baleba. So I expect United to be very, very transitional next season. I think I said it last Friday. I expect us to be very similar to Klopp's first season, where we're probably not gonna win a lot of games, but there's gonna be a lot of shootouts where unfortunately we're gonna get beat on the counter, but we're also gonna kill some teams on the counter, and you will see a very aggressive pressing team. And because of that, I do expect us to improve. By how much, it's going to come down to the Baleba signing, and obviously I got to watch a little bit more this season. But yeah, I do. There's a very good chance that on the first day, because of how unprepared I think Arsenal are, that we play a game like that. You actually, and I think that some people don't underestimate that. Sometimes you don't have to demand the ball from the other team. Sometimes you deliberately just got to give them the ball. This current Arsenal team, with the form that they're in and what I've seen in preseason, and with the lack of, obviously, the Eze signing or whoever we're going to get on the left, it is the smartest thing to do to let them have the ball at large parts, because they're not really creating much. Like, they force the ball sometimes, if that makes sense. Like, too many times you'll see they'll have the ball, but they'll lump it forward. Or they'll rely on a set piece to overload the box and just put players up there.
They've scored 2 goals in open play, bro. I'm seeing in all preseason.
Their open play right now is not that good. It is, you know how they say sometimes it's a very good time to play a certain team. As crazy as it sounds, it is actually a perfect time right now to play Arsenal, because when people say preseason hype or whatever, like, I'll be honest, bro, Arteta's not going to go on match day 1 and just going to like use a wand and all of a sudden the football is going to be fluid. I'm not saying they'll be shit all season, but right now they're not prepared to kick off the season. The football that they're playing just looks very sluggish. I'm not going to lie, even Gyökeres, he just looks like he's unfit because of the amount of training that he didn't do with Sporting when he wasn't training with them and he was pushing for a move. So I don't think he's actually going to be ready until like maybe 2-3 games in, you know? So he's going to have to build up that fitness. And next to that, they still need to learn how to play with him in that team. Yeah. They haven't figured a lot of things out right now, which is why it's a perfect time to kick off the season against them. It doesn't mean that we're superior to them, but there's a very, very good chance now that I think we win that game.
Which is also why I think they shouldn't panic, Arsenal fans. But this would be my fear for them, is there will be a meltdown and a panic, and you know, the negative Arsenal fans, like Negative Dan, who's joined the Football Terrace recently, will be like, it's got to go and it builds up. And then Positive Dan, his mate, will be like, no, and they'll be fighting. When actually, I think it's just, you know, 3 summers ago, they brought their players in, they got them in quite early, preseason click, they looked amazing. It might just take 3 or 4 games into this season for these new guys to really bed themselves. And funnily enough, Chelsea went through that last year. Your preseason was dog. You were getting ripped apart. First game of the season was against City. You lost it. But you got 2 or 3 games into the season, and then suddenly you clicked. You went on a really good run for 3 or 4 months. So I don't think Arsenal should be panicking at this particular moment. At the same time, they've got to add some signings. What they did do today, though, which I think is important for them, is they secured Ethan Nwaneri. They got the done deal over the line for him, and he signed a new deal. I think that's important for Arsenal. Is that's a kind, especially their fans. It's a sort of another little worry they had off their back, because Chelsea was sort of circling for that deal, and you know, they were worried. But he signed a new long-term contract at the club. I think that's really important for them today. But I keep seeing this news about no Eze unless they sell someone. Get someone out, get him in, because you're going to need him or a left winger.
What's stopping that signing, by the way? Because I haven't tapped into that signing enough. What's going on?
Essentially, what was said today by Sammy McBell, and I had Ben Jacobs on this channel earlier on, is essentially exits. They need to balance the books a bit. They need to sell someone. So Trossard and Martinelli's got to go, and then they're going to bring it in. Plus, they don't want to pay the £68 million, the asking price for Eze. What's not helping them, though, is Palace, by their own admission, have had a terrible window where they've not been able to bring players in. So it's now creating a harder situation. So, yeah, a lot of it is to do with money being raised. And, yeah, they're right now.
I think they're going to, personally, I think they're going to sell Trossard. I don't think they're going to get rid of Martinelli this year. I think probably another year. But I do think they're going to sell Trossard. And that's why I'm saying I think they'll bring Eze in. But then at the same time, if they sell Trossard, they've brought in Madueke. So Madueke could be that guy. Oh, Madueke and Martinelli on the left, bro. That's the type of shit that makes you want to jump off a cliff, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's a myth. That's a myth, man. That's a big myth. You know, but yeah, man, listen, they've got one more game now. Let's see, because I reckon you'll probably play his strongest team. Let's see if we see any changes, but you ain't going to see those changes overnight. You know, I've been talking about their style of play for time. It's not going to change overnight, Terry. No way.
Yeah. No, I hear you, mate. I hear you. I don't think it's going to change. Yeah, I don't think it will change overnight. It's going to take a little bit of time and more work. Let's see what their preseason game looks like tomorrow. Super chat here says 1 season before Odegaard's creativity was the highest in Europe. Last season sucked. The problem with Don's analysis is that he will speak agendas against Rice, who has been the best creator even from open play.
You just lied. You just spent money to lie. Rice was not the best creator from open play. What are you talking about? What are you checking these stats for? You need to send me this website so I can tell you to delete it.
I think he means their best creator.
Oh, to be fair, a lot of his creation came from set pieces.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, fine. I think he's one of the best crossers in the league.
I'm pretty sure it was Saka and Odegaard, bro. I'm pretty sure Saka and Odegaard had more open play chances created than Rice. But anyway, if you think
in fairness, though, they probably didn't. They missed big chunks of the season, so Rice probably did. In totality,
I don't know about that, though. I'm pretty sure Saka was on those lists that I keep seeing. I think Saka still created more open play chances than him.
Maybe did. The problem with is the stale instructions from the manager. No wonder Zubi and Dauman were the best preseason players. If these hard instructions of control don't change, even Eze won't improve. Do you know what? I'll say this, though. You could be right on that. But this is why I still think you're in a win-win situation with someone like Berta coming in. Because I don't think if you guys have a bad season, I don't think Arteta survives. I think Berta would push and say, look, this, because you've got lots of good players. You've got lots, and this is where I've been saying, listen, I go back to that Arsenal is scary video, which didn't just break the internet, it changed the culture of football content creation, because I'd say
you're a trendsetter. Is that what you're saying?
Well, no, by accident. I didn't mean to do it. It was just me giving an honest opinion. But I even see George out here now. Arsenal scare me. Chelsea moving mad. What's going on? I get a lot. George's really funny. Big up George. Big up. I see Dan Potts doing it. Saeed does it. The amount of shit I get for doing it, and now not by these guys specifically, but everyone else is now doing it in the football space. By the way, other YouTubers have been doing it for years. But I like it. I don't care if you hate it. If you hate it, don't watch my channel. See you later. But all that being said, I'm just putting it out there, bro. Do you know what I mean? New channel, Terry Fleurs TV. I know, again, it's not done bad in the last 6 weeks. Only 21,000 new subscribers. Check it out. Scan that QR code on the screen next to Don's head. New videos dropping every day. More of an opinion. I actually got called out the other day by some TikToker, and he was like, "Well, why are you doing those videos on your own channel, not the Football Terrace?" I was like, well, the Football Terrace now, we've gone back to purely predominantly live streams and more phone-in shows. My opinion pieces go on my channel. It creates a better continuity of content. So if you like just short opinion pieces, you go there. If you like the longer format, phone-ins, panel shows, match reactions, you come here. It gives a greater diversity.
You know what that sounds like, man? You know what it sounds like? Sounds like we've been carrying the Terrace so much that Terry now has enough time to make his own channel.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Like a pay rise. Like a pay rise, I can't lie.
It smells like sucking my big toe, bro, for the pay rise. But what I'm saying is my YouTube manager told me that my name gets Googled on average 11 times more per day than the Football Terrace does. So he's like, you should think about starting a channel in your own name, because people Google that more. So I was like, that makes sense, right? But yeah, but also I wanted to differentiate. The same as the Football Terrace Clips channel is not a Clips channel anymore. It's Clips, but it's called the Extras, because there's going to be tactical shows added on there, not by me, but other people. So we're kind of changing it. But all that being said is irrelevant to the point I was making, actually.
Yeah, it is irrelevant. What do you mean pay rise for you two? I've been here for years, bro. I've been here for flipping years. Now hold up. I've been to you. Asking for a pay rise now after the banging of in.
If you don't ask, you don't get, man.
9K on the Extra channel. I deserve that piece, bro. I deserve the piece. People in the chat. Where is the KJ Rise gang? You guys come out, put it in the chat.
KJ Rise.
Yo, people are saying KJ's gonna do it like the 1958, and he's gonna protest before the next stream.
Why did he come on looking like he just had a run as well? He just came like he looked so hot. Why did
KJ's put a lot of weight on. All he did was walk up the stairs, but it looks like he's been on a run, I tell you. But I'll go back to what I was saying, right? Thanks, KJ, for that. Is like, I said then that I think they're going to become title contenders, but I always said then, and I've maintained this, it's win-win, because I think that Arteta is either going to make them win a big trophy or he's going to get them to the edge. So I don't think, yes, it will feel like a season wasted if he doesn't do it, and I understand that, but that's life. You have to deal with it. I think this year, if they don't progress or they go backwards from last year, if this football maintains the same, I think Berta will be in the shell of the owners, and I think he'll be moved on. And I know there'll be, listen, and I've said all along, I think in reality, the Arteta winners and the Arteta outers, I think they've both lost the debate. It's gone too long now. Both have made massive predictions that haven't come true. Both still are holding out for, but he might win something big, or I told you he never would. But generally, you look at most of their predictions, he'll win it this year, he'll win it this year, he'll definitely do this, definitely do that, hasn't. Equally, won't make the top 4. We won't compete in the Champions League. We'll never get in the title race. We'll never win a trophy. We'll never, like, most of their predictions are wrong. So I just think that let them have their little debate. That debate died 2 years ago. I think they'll have to move on from him if it doesn't work this year. And there's no harm in that, because I think the team will then improve, because I don't think they have an overall this terrible squad. End of the day, whether he wins something this year or not, there may also be a need in the next year or two to move on Arteta. How long do managers actually last at clubs? Go back to the era where managers lasted a long time. Go back and look at the average. It was still only 6, 7, 8 years. Don't use Fergie and Cloughy and Wenger as barometers. You go back and look, and 7, 8, 9 years was like, in the era where managers lasted a long time, was a long time. In this era, it's an eternity. And you could win the league this year, but there still might be internally a need to go, we need to start thinking now about an exit, because the players might need something fresh. You look at Liverpool last year as an example. And I also think if Pep has a year where they come third, not quite at their best, I think he might go, a new guy will come in and you might see a bang, an instant improvement, because that's just life for you. Football's like that. So, yeah, look, I don't think they should be panicking Gooners right now. I still think they're going to buy more, but I think they should be certainly, the foot should be close to the neck of the ownership right now in terms of what we're going to do if things start going wrong. I agree with that. Arteta knows the flogging standards.
No, the flogging standards. You're not doing it right. The flogging standards. That's what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. All right, I didn't get that. I missed it. Max Dowman, remember the name? Yeah, he looks talented, man. Max Dowman.
I don't hear no doubling up about Dowman. You know what I'm saying? Man came on the other day, was just cooking the fullbacks. Yeah, cooking guys. Guys were attracting so many players, just running past them, bro. When it comes to a certain guy, yeah, all I hear is, oh, he's getting doubled up, but somehow he's the best right winger in the world. It don't add up to me, bro.
Yeah, someone yesterday told me the only reason he's standing out from the rest of the team is because he hasn't been under Arteta for enough.
He hasn't been infected with some shit.
Yeah. Nah. They're saying give him more time and he'll start doing sideways passes.
I don't think it's that or the doubling up, not being doubled up. I think it's to do with the opponents. They have no idea about him. They don't know what he does. And a lot of players,
they know what they
No, I disagree. I don't think they do know. I don't think there is probably not enough data that the opponents have done yet on Max Dowman to know how often, and this is the kind of level they go to, right? How often does he go on the inside to the outside? When he does this dummy, how often does he cut inside versus how many times does he go outside? Eventually, teams will build this data. And when teams are preparing to play someone, they'll run that through. There's always an advantage when a player is highly skilled but unknown, because it's you don't know what you don't know about them. That's the one thing. That's for me more the truth.
Equally saying he's playing with a lot of freedom.
Let's cut to the chase. Fuck all that. Let's cut to the chase. Who's got more natural ability, Dowman or Saka, Terry? For you,
what do you mean by natural ability?
Who's got more natural ability, bro? You're watching.
I would say this.
You're watching both of them with your eyes, broski.
Yeah. No, listen. But when you say that, no, but I'm asking you to define what you mean by natural ability, and then I'll answer, because we might see it differently.
Yo, bro, just in terms of everything, bro. The way that he's taking man on. You know what I'm saying? Some of the little touches, the way he's dropping his shoulder, bro.
And
you know
listen, what I'm saying? I'll answer it, but I've got to say something about this. In terms of natural ability that I like, Max Dowman, for his age, is one of the best teenagers I've ever seen in my life. One of the best. So an age 15-year-old Dowman versus 15-year-old Saka, there is no competition. The man has bags of potential, a ceiling that's massive. I don't know why any Arsenal fan would be offended by this conversation, because they're both their players. They're both their academy players. I don't even see it as a flex. Like, my view, it's a bit like going, like, you know what I mean? Who's better, Beckham or Scholes? I'm like, I don't care which one you put top. They're both mine. Do you know what I mean? For me, it's like a nothing debate personally, right? But I think Dowman, if he reaches his full potential, he has the ability and ceiling to become Arsenal's greatest ever graduate academy. I can't speak. Academy graduate. He is absolutely phenomenal at 15 years of age, but they've got to be careful because in totality, in top flight English football history, 15-year-olds Premier League top flight history, 15-year-olds have played a totality of 20 minutes altogether combined. 16-year-olds have only played 200 minutes collectively altogether. So I think we need to be very, very careful. I think if Arsenal do not want their manager thinking like Don does, he's got more technical ability, he's better on the eye, so play more than Saka, because you will burn this young boy's body before he's even started. You've got to be so careful. This is a fast, physical, powerful league. Opponents will try to break this young man physically, and he won't be treated as a 15-year-old on the pitch by the rest. He'll be treated like a man. Got to be really, really careful. But overall, listen, I can't say any. Yeah, you might say he's got more ability than Saka, but I don't see where the insult is. Because you're trying to insult someone here. I know you don't.
I'm asking you a question. Because the streets are saying that your talent ID is not great. The streets are saying that your talent ID stinks. I'm asking you a question. Yeah,
I'm the streets.
Well, I tell you what the streets say, right? I tell you what the streets say.
Oh no!
When you got nearly a million people across all platforms that subscribe to watch your opinions, I'm pretty happy with what the streets say about my football opinion, my analogies, my hosting skills.
It's okay, man. It's all right, man.
Wait, hold on. Subs does not equate to better footballing opinions. You're a great content creator, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, no, I think it plays a part. I think if you've got, the quality of football opinions, how you present it, the arguments you make, because not everyone agrees with me. I think overall, I'm pretty comfortable with my footballing opinion. And you know,
wait, hold on a second. Jogo Bonito starting. Esteval starting, yeah. What time's this game?
Yeah, the chat is saying Esteval starting for Chelsea.
Hey, this is my boy, man. Forget Max Dowman. It's time to watch some Esteval now.
And I've got to say this to you as well,
Max Dowman that quick.
And by the way, and I've got to say this as well, Don. I've got to say this as well. We're from the same area, right? Don't let the side parting fool you. I was rolling about on the streets where you were still in your mum's breast. So let's not even chat about streets when it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm old school.
You really rattled him with that comment.
You were so rattled. I knew I was going to rattle him.
On a real level, this is also, I say this about two things. The clothes I wear, I don't care who mocks it. If I'm wearing it, it means I'm comfortable. If I'm comfortable, everyone else's opinion is irrelevant from an insult perspective. And the other one is always when people, I've got to this point now when people say pause, it was funny. I've now realized anyone who says pause or anyone who gets like freaky deeked out by anything that sounds a smidging homosexual, my view is just this. I want to make this message public right now on socials. You can come out. It's a free society. You don't need to hide it anymore. No one is going to judge you. Just want to put that out there to everyone.
Sorry, let me read the lineup here.
Go on, let me read the lineup. Go on.
Jorgensen in goal, Gusto, Achimpong, Chalobah, Cucurella, Caicedo, Santos, Palmer midfield, Esteval, George, and Delap. Not a bad team. Not a bad team, man. We should be able to beat these lot.
Is it you're playing?
We're playing your Leverkusen.
Oh, Leverkusen. Yeah, you should. You got a game today, and you got another game on Sunday, right? And
Sunday,
then
yeah. And then we've got Palace next week Sunday before your game.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'll be watching that tonight.
We play for your tier tomorrow.
What time kickoff, bro, is it?
She wanted some white chocolate. Who wanted some white chocolate? It's not for sale anymore, bro. It's off the market. Shop sold out. There we go. I think I've got a few more super chats here. For fuck's sake, it's not about doubling up. He does beat that. He's being the only outlet whilst being doubled up on. If 15-year-old Dowman is the standard you're labeling as a real baller, your club has never had one.
His head is gone, bro. I know you're typing that message so quickly as well, bro. How dare you try to come for Cobham? Your head is gone.
Which Cobham graduate was better than Dowman in your opinion?
At that age?
At that age. Which academy graduate is better than him?
Jeremy Boga was cold. Jeremy Boga was
Hudson-Odoi. I hear from Chelsea fans that he will eat.
Hudson-Odoi, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, amazing. Kakuta, amazing. Oh, bro,
Kakuta.
But you see here why it's important not to get too carried away with the Saka conversation and start him over him, because every player you name there, Korea, Hudson-Odoi done well. He's a Premier League player, but the rest of them,
Musiala, amazing. Rio, amazing.
Musiala is very good.
Yeah.
When did he ever play a first team game for you, Musiala?
Nah. He left at
too
what?
young.
He left at like 16 or something.
That was
He was a
crazy.
baby.
That's a crazy
Bro,
fumble.
Jeremy Bogart started the first game of the season against Burnley, and then Gary Cahill, the idiot, got sent off after like 20 minutes, 12 minutes or something mad like that. Then Bogart got sacrificed. After that, we didn't see him again. Like Bogart is one of the best players I've seen at that age. So when man are like, oh, I've never seen a 15-year-old like Dalman, I'm like, I rate Dalman, but I've seen a lot of them come through at Chelsea, bro, and other clubs as well. I remember Jordan Ibe as well. He was cold, bro. It's sad what's happened to him now, but he was amazing at that age. Raheem Sterling's another one as well. He was cold at 15.
That's why for me, when people talk about young players and do it, that's why still for me, when it comes to the English side, is in club that came through the English clubs. That's why I rate Wayne Rooney so high, because he wasn't just great at 15, 16. That man went on to do it for a decade and actually achieved. You know what I mean? It's just the levels of that man.
Yeah, Musonda, he didn't join at 15, but he was another one that was brilliant at that age.
Chelsea are doing a Brighton on a bigger scale. They are not building. They generate money. Wait 2 years. The fans will cry about no intention to win.
They're not building.
Do you guys have a hot take for the season?
Ooh, hot takes when it comes to me. I have so many of them, bro. I don't know if it's so much of a hot take. I just think Chelsea is going to finish ahead of City. I don't think it's a hot take. Some people think it is. But yeah, that's possibly my hot take.
Have I got any hot takes?
You're full of them. Just what's your arsenal for that hot take? Because we know you have something else. Just come out already.
Boy, I mean, I did say, well, my hot take last year was that there's going to be more Arsenal fans questioning Rice's position in the team, right? And there's more now. Hot take, bro. You have to come back.
On the rush, are you basing that?
I did mine actually weeks ago.
But
I think
about that one.
Sorry. I just want to say about the writing. Are you basing that on Arteta misposition, putting him in the wrong position, or the player not being good enough?
No, Arteta's mistake. You know what I think of Rice? I think it's a very good DM, but it's not an A. It's not an A.
Yeah, I get that. Sorry, Safi.
I actually gave mine a couple weeks ago, and I'll give it again. Outside of the Chelsea one, I think Gyökeres is going to be the reason Arteta gets sacked. I think he's gonna not use him correctly. I think they're already complaining the first 2 games on the things that I kind of predict to happen. And I don't think he's going to find a way to implement whatever they're expecting. I think they're not going to get him firing as fans expect. And the blame is going to be on the manager, because they're going to look at it and say, you know what? We've given a lot of money over the years. People like Igao made excuses on the front line saying, at least give him an attack. They're going to look at the attack that he gave him, and it's not going to be firing. They're going to say, you know what? It's time to try something else. Thank you, and they'll just move on from him.
You know what? I've got hot take. I think Sunderland will stay in the league comfortably as well.
That's a good hot take, actually.
That's a great one. So I've got a massive hot take, and it's not something I believe in wholeheartedly. That's why it's a hot take.
Bruno MVP of the season. United to finish 3rd place. There we go.
No, it's not about my club. Mine's really left field, and it's Pep Guardiola doesn't finish the season at City.
Woo! Are you crazy?
Well, I just said it's not something I fully believe in. It's just a hot take, like a sort of.
Yeah.
I
It's
guess
not
more.
really a hot take if you don't believe it, man. Come on.
Well, because that's what hot takes. Hot takes are a little bit like, I could see a scenario where it happens. I'm just not saying 100%. I think it definitely will.
Okay, what's the probability in your mind? Like, how much do you think is going to happen?
30%.
Nah, man. I need more chest behind your hot take.
It's a left field. Like I said, it's a left field option, and I got a feeling if they don't start well and they have a bad run like last year, I think he walks. Because I don't think he could have another trophyless failure of a season 2 years running. He's kind of like the person that would rather not be managing than have a bad season, because he keeps his win ratios, he keeps his league position, because it'll still be, he's only ever once finished lower than like 2nd in the league. Only once he's done it. He doesn't want to make it like 3 years. I think he'd like to keep those percentages high. I think he'll lose his appetite. I don't really think he's a rebuild type guy anyway. So if they're not looking like they can win the league by November, and they're looking poor, and they don't look like they can win the Champions League. We saw last year the scratching of the face, the fucking meltdowns. I think this time he'll be gone.
It's about time, man. It's about time. There's a new era now. You know what I mean? It might be.
Terry, you know what we need to do?
Red and blue one now, man. Red and blue era again. You know them ones. You might relate to that, right? You might remember.
Unfortunately, when you say red and blue, I know you don't mean us, but I'd hope to be.
No. Listen, I'm watching you, man. I'm watching you, man. I'm seeing you, man, building. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be real. When it comes to you, man, up there, I'll respect you, man, more. You know what I mean? Because I've seen you, man, winning the big boy stuff. These little fish, these men are just there right now. They're peaked and they won nothing. Yeah? How can you peak and win nothing, bro? You know what I'm saying? That's fucking peak.
You love talking about them. I can't lie. Listen, bro. I respect it.
Arsenal. Your obsession with Arsenal is crazy. Crazy. In your guys' opinions, if Arteta doesn't adjust to Gyökeres or even make our system better, do you believe he will be sacked? I've got a feeling.
I just answered that without even seeing the super.
Yeah, I think this was super chatted earlier. To be fair, so sorry, but I didn't put this up. I was going to bring it up in the Arsenal section, but I think, Danny, it kind of got answered by a lot of us throughout the course of that. I know what you're saying. You've got a feeling it was. Look, if you have a bad season and come 5th, but you qualify for the Champions League because of the top 5 positions again, and you keep him, I think all your attention should go away from your manager and it should be on your owners, because that would show me that after a year of regression and 2 years of regression, Champions League qualification is the ultimate goal, and that's a problem. Because if that's your ownership's ultimate goal, it's hard to demand more from your players and your manager, because that's not what the overall game, overall objective is. So, look, that would be a worry if he had a bad season and stayed. If he has a season where it's Champions League final, narrowly loses, second in the league on 95 points, and they keep him, I wouldn't necessarily look at that as big a problem. You've got to contextualize it. Hot take, even after this transfer window disaster and losing Isak, Newcastle will improve next season and comfortably make top 5. Well, I do a definition of a hot take, right? And this is why you don't need to break it down too much. This is what the definition of a hot take is. A strong, often controversial opinion, typically expressed quickly without much thought or evidence, especially by journalism or on social media. So this is what hot takes are meant to be. They're meant to be a little bit like a throwaway, quick point that you don't necessarily fully believe in. A bit of fun. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Terry,
I like what Sunderland are doing, man. I like what they're doing.
Sunderland, but I've also seen teams do that and then look shit as well.
They've got one of my players. They've got Mark Gill, bro.
They made decent signings. They
have made some good signings.
Yeah.
They haven't. I'm looking forward to seeing what Xhaka looks like. I'm looking forward to what he looks like back in the Prem now after going away and becoming a champ. So
this signing makes sense. There's a lot of clubs. I get what you're saying. There's a lot of clubs. The minute they get promoted, they just throw money at their team, thinking, if we just spend, we'll have enough, good enough of the team to stay. Forest almost made that mistake, and they almost got relegated their first year. Remember when they overspent? They overloaded us. And they got Lingard and a bunch of players they didn't need. And I think they finished 17th that year. And then the year after, half of these players left. And then actually they maintained a decent team and eventually they went up. But they improved. But they almost went down by that method. Sunderland, on the other hand, I think they made decent signings.
If you remember, they literally revamped the whole team that got them up. And they couldn't build any chemistry. I think that's when they had Scott Parker. And then they got relegated. They went back down.
You
need a balance, man. You need to keep the players that kept you up. Got you up even, and then you need to bring in like better quality players that are from the Premier League. They might be leaving the Uniteds and the Chelseas and that.
No, I agree. Boys, listen, always a pleasure. How can you peak and win nothing, Dom? Hot take.
Don't steal that sentence from me. I said it to him on the phone, so he better give me credit for that. I said, how do you peak for 3 years and win nothing?
Don will tell us by Christmas that Esteval is double the player that Saka is.
I'll tell you now.
That's a great super chat.
Listen, people, hit the like button before you leave.
Wait, before we go, can we do a prediction show next week? Or like straight facts member or something, like predictions for the season?
Yes, we will do that.
Because I want everyone's takes.
You need to send that thing out as well. Again, remember last season you sent out the underperforming player.
Yeah. I'll send out one of them and we'll do it. And we'll see how many people on Straight Facts we can get onto one stream as well and try and do like a big thing. That sounds good. Listen, everybody, we're back later tonight after the Chelsea game. So hit the like button, please. Make sure you're subscribing. This is redirecting you to Footy Judge Mo's channel. So go and support my brother over there. Take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again soon. Peace.